Since 1995, Alabama's sports talk leader, Tiger Communications, proudly presents SportsCall. It's time to join our SportsCall crew as they discuss the latest headlines and happenings around Auburn and the entire sports world. To be part of the show, give us a call at 334-887-3401 locally or toll free at 1-888-9-TIGER-9. We're taking phone calls all show long and want to talk about whatever you've got on your mind. And now, coming to you live from the loveliest village on the plains, Auburn's first and Auburn's favorite sports talk show, Sports Call.
Welcome, Auburn, into the Wednesday edition of Sports Call, live on Tiger 95.9, the Tiger.fm, and the Tiger Communications app, and streaming live on Facebook and YouTube at Sports Call Auburn. My name is Ryan Lavoie, the host of the program. Today I'm joined by Tom Peavy with Connor Knight. We're on the board taking your phone calls here on this Wednesday edition of the program. Coming up today, we will talk about the latest in the college football saga, which is the NFL training camp players trying to return to college. The SEC has come down with their ruling on what they would like to have happen and potential penalties for if the rule is broken, so we'll discuss that. Auburn basketball schedules an exhibition game with Alabama, and so we'll talk a little bit about that and a new era of exhibition basketball, we suppose. Also coming up in just a few minutes, going to be joined by Bob Pockris of Fox Sports to talk all things NASCAR, maybe a little bit of IndyCar also. Always good to catch up with Bob. One race until the playoffs for NASCAR, until the chase for NASCAR. And coming up later in the program today, we continue to preview each Power 4 conference. Yesterday it was the Big 12. Today it is the ACC. So we'll tell you all you need to know about the Atlantic Coast Conference on today's program. And if you'd like to give us a phone call to join us on the Sports Call phone line, 334-887-3401 locally, or toll-free 1-888-9-TIGER-9. Ryan and Tom coming to you live from our Auburn Bank studios. Tom Peavy, how are you doing, sir?
Oh, man, doing great. All my 80s icons need to quit passing away. It's been a rough couple of days. Dolly Parton yesterday, and then today Tim Curry. It's like, goodness gracious, that's just stop. But other than that, doing okay. Still hot outside. I'm anxiously awaiting for those highs in the 80s and some rain, but I don't know. We'll see. But yeah, lot to discuss, and very interested to talk about the happenings in the SEC as far as these pro players trying to come in, and the SEC actually trying to have some claws to them and kind of putting the clamp on that, which needed to happen.
It did indeed. And they will try to levy stiff penalties for players that are trying to come back. I don't know if we can get to this in full detail here in the next few minutes, since we will be joined by Bob Pockris shortly. But pretty much the SEC, again, has come down with a very similar set of rules that the Big Ten did yesterday, and that is that if you've signed an NFL contract, NBA contract, MLB, WNBA, any of that, if you sign any of it, again, you can't come back to college. They were careful to make sure they were putting in the WNBA, NBA parts of it too. So this would not work out for those leagues and situations either. They continue to, again, discourage any of if you've put your name in the draft and filed the necessary paperwork for that. That also disqualifies you. So say you don't get drafted or you don't end up in a training camp, if you still declared for the draft and kept your name in, that still applies too. So that's more of the traditional route. And the penalties that they are willing to levy for breach of this include a 50% of the season suspension for head coaches, 50% of that sport's annual operating budget, and SEC voting privileges on business matters would be revoked. The vote was initially 16-0. Then the second report was that it was 15-0 on the second and final vote, LSU abstaining, but originally they had voted with.
Right.
So all the schools except for maybe LSU unanimously agree on this. This is also going to happen. The ACC is early today. The Big 12's meeting about it. You know, realistically, this is happening with every single major conference in the country. And it is a unified response that this is not okay. We're not going to start doing this. If you are a professional, you are in the professional leagues. You are no longer a part of the NCAA landscaping. And so the question will then become, as I tackle each element of this, what kind of lawsuit and contestment comes from the Daquan Wrights of the world that are seeking this extra eligibility? I've said in recent shows, you know, this does need to be a rule, period, going forward.
Right.
But it will never be more pronounced than right now because these group of athletes feel like they have been wronged since the law or since the rules are changing. Since now people know in current college landscapes that you have 5 years to play 5 years. Those athletes thought it was the traditional model of you once you are a senior, you're done, and then you would not be able to have any more eligibility even if it was just a 4-year senior. And now that's no longer true. You have the 5 years to play 5, even if you do actually play all 5 years. And so the point of the matter is this is the one cycle of kids that did not know that. That's why they are upset. That's why they are challenging it. Reports say that LSU and Lane Kiffin encouraged them to challenge it, which is a whole other can of worms to get into, by the way. But essentially, you know, this is where I think everyone is going to be most proactive. It's also why, not to get into anything political, but it's why you see in politics and in law why they roll out a new policy over a period of time. Right. You know, even think about like the star IDs, which I don't even know if they ended up implementing that, but they gave you a couple of years, a few years to get your star ID before it actually was going to be policed or be required. And it's why those things in law take some time to roll out so that they allow, so everybody knows that, you know, we're going to operate under a new playing field at X, Y, and Z time. And this was much more sudden, and therefore that's what these players are arguing, that it, you know, we were the first class to not benefit from this, and how were we supposed to know that we were going to have that 5th year? So I think that's a pretty thorough, quick look at everything. So again, where does it go from here? How many people end up still leaking into college or trying to leak into college? You know, this should, if the rule holds up, eliminate it. You should not be able to get into college if you have been in an NFL training camp. But what kind of contesting, what kind of lawsuits will we now see in the coming days?
Well, and that's just it. You're going to get lawsuits. And unfortunately, you know, it may not be. It sounds like it should be over with all the conferences very unanimously coming together and saying, no, this is not going to happen. There's going to be a judge out there, because there's already been a judge out there, but there's going to be a judge out there that's going to look at it and go, no, y'all have no right to
enforce this.
You have to let them play because of X, Y, and Z. It's a mess. And I get the whole 5th year of eligibility, but the simple fact is, okay, well, then stay and play a 5th year. I mean, if that's what you have, then and you want to do that, then stay. But once you go pro, that's it. You're done. There's no coming back from that. There should not be any coming back from that. Once you sign a contract, once you declare you have given up your amateur eligibility, you are now a pro, and you don't then get to just turn around and come back. And you sure as heck don't get to go through an NFL training camp and realize,
and then decide it was better off.
It hasn't worked out for me so well in the NFL training camp, I'm going to go back to college. No, you chose to go pro. You went through an NFL training camp. That's it. Okay, if that didn't work out for you, you're going to have to go to another league. And if the other league doesn't work out for you, then
that's life. Sometimes.
That's life. You're going to have to
go to different jobs. That does not mean it ends up being a better one.
Yeah, you're going to have to get a job. Oh my gosh, you're going to actually have to work for a living. You might not be a professional football player. Oh goodness, that's terrible. You're going to have to be a regular person. That's life, like you said. You made the choice to go to the next level. you have to live with that. You don't then just get to turn around and go back to college. That it's crazy that it's really mind-boggling that we have even reached that level. And it had these conferences and the presidents and chancellors and all had to step in and do something, and I'm glad they have. Just unfortunately, I have a feeling there's going to be some lawsuits and some judges that are going to side with these players for whatever reason it is. They're going to side with them, and you're just going to end up with a huge mess.
And then you get into not only can the NCAA not enforce things, conferences can't enforce things, and basically what we're seeing is that we had a glass house to begin with where nothing was actually enforceable, nothing was actually concrete, and we didn't even really have anything in the eyes of the law. Now, the other problem, though, is that and I hate to say this, I hate to question the system this way, but others I'm sure do this also. Like, are these judges actually ruling in the favor of the true law, or are they ruling because of their locales and the what they stand to gain from those universities and those places getting those players? You know, and I hate to be cynical that way.
Well, but it's just how it was with the whole Bediako thing in Alabama. Where was that judge at that ruled in favor of him?
Right,
Tuscaloosa.
Yeah,
the judge that ruled in favor of these LSU guys,
Louisiana,
not just Louisiana, but in Baton Rouge.
Yeah.
So it makes you wonder if there's some ulterior motives there, and not just looking at the law of it.
For some reason, if Montana, who does not have FBS football, if they were ruling on this, I'd feel better about it. Like, what would Montana have to gain? Not a whole lot. But
also, court-wise, how far does this go? If one judge rules a certain way, then do the conferences go to a higher judge and go, okay, well, now you're going to need to rule on this?
Yes, they will.
You know,
they will.
It's nuts.
So I don't know how much litigation we'll have ahead, but we'll have at least some. But we need to take our first time out of the program today, because on the other side of this break, we'll head to the auto racing world, and we will catch up with Bob Pockris of Fox Sports. That is coming up next on the Wednesday edition of Sports Call, Tiger 95.9.
To the show, send us your thoughts via email.
You've got mail.
SportsCall@thetiger.fm.
Weather brought to you by Auburn University Credit Union. Looking for the best credit card rate in town? The rate on Auburn University Credit Union's MasterCard starts at 7.9% APR. That's right, 7.9% APR. For more information or to apply, visit one of their 3 locations or myaucu.org. Annual percentage rate. Auburn University Credit Union is an equal opportunity lender.
High temperatures right around the 90-degree mark today. Some people can see upper 80s for a change, but others will stick around 90. We'll see mostly sunny skies, about a 20 to 25% chance of any one spot getting wet. Lows will be the low 70s overnight. Tomorrow, the pattern begins to change. High temperatures will be in the mid-80s across the area, but with that, we'll see a good bit of rainfall, as most of the area at some point in the afternoon and evening hours will see a shower or thunderstorm, and low temperatures will drop again into the low 70s. I'm Ryan Lavoie for your Tiger Communications weather update.
We all know Jimmy's Car Stereo in Auburn has you covered when it comes to car stereos, accessories, and expert installation. But did you know Jimmy's is also your go-to spot for ATV and UTV gear? They've got 32-inch sassies, 3,500, 4,500, and 6,000-pound winches, belts, lighting, whips, laser lights, side mirrors, bumpers, phone holders, and rear mirrors. So whether you're upgrading your ride, decking out your ATV or UTV, or adding audio to your boat, Jimmy's has the gear and the know-how to make it happen. Jimmy's Car Stereo in Auburn. If it rolls, rides, or floats, Jimmy's makes it sound better.
Now back to Auburn's first and Auburn's favorite sports talk show, Sports Call.
Welcome back. This is the Wednesday edition of Sports Call, Tiger 95.9, the Tiger.fm, and the Tiger Communications app. Ryan Lavoie and Tom Peavy coming to you live from our Auburn Bank studios, and we are now pleased to head to the Sports Call phone line where we welcome on the great Bob Pockris of Fox Sports, covering all things motorsports for Fox Sports. Bob, the time is greatly appreciated. How are you doing today?
I'm doing great. How you guys doing?
Doing very well, and great to catch back up with you. And normally I'd fire all NASCAR questions at you, but I do want to ask an IndyCar question to begin, Bob, because I know you've been covering IndyCar for a little while now. And last week, Freedom 250 in Washington, D.C., a heck of a weekend for IndyCar, Bob, and just take me through that experience of everything going on in the world of IndyCar last weekend, and even with IROC racing for the first time in a long time on that Saturday.
Yeah, so, I mean, much like NASCAR in Chicago, when you're walking the streets and you see the skyline and you're like, gosh, it's going to be epic to see cars on these streets. I think the same with even a little bit more juice when you're in Washington, D.C., and you're in full view of the Capitol building, and you're like, oh my gosh, cars are going to be on the street in the next day. And so just to see the images and see the cars race and see teams working in the shadow of the Capitol building, in the shadow of the National Archives, in the shadow of the Washington Monument, in the shadow of the Smithsonian, just incredible to see, and something that you just never thought you would see. So it certainly was a spectacle. Julie, Kyle Kirkwood kind of dominated, but there still was a decent amount of action. And gosh, you saw Scott McLaughlin, a driver looking for his first win in 2 years, try to make a move to win the race, and he ended up in the wall. That's how badly he wanted to win there. It's probably how badly he wanted to win in general. And I tried to remind him earlier in the weekend that a 2-year drought in IndyCar is just a 1-year drought in NASCAR. So, you know, it might not be as bad as it seems.
Yeah, a little bit more of a condensed schedule. I believe 2 more races left on the IndyCar season.
3 races, 2 venues, a doubleheader this weekend in Milwaukee, where IndyCar will race both Saturday afternoon and Sunday afternoon. The championship likely will be wrapped up by Alex Lowe sometime during the weekend. But if he stumbles, he'll have to get the job done at Laguna Seca the following weekend in Monterey, California.
I got you. And, of course, you can watch all those on Fox as Fox continues to cover all things IndyCar and broadcast those races. And the other thing, though, I did allude to it, Bob, was, you know, it was very, very cool to see the IROC cars on Saturday. And correct me if I'm wrong, I think Ray Evernham is kind of running the ship, or at least having a bit to do with it.
Ray's running it, but like Kurt Busch owns his IROC car, and I think Rick Hendrick owned the car that Jeff Gordon was driving, and lo and behold, Jeff Gordon wins, right?
Yes.
So how did that happen? But it's cool to see Jeff Gordon and Rusty Wallace and Bill Elliott and Tony Kanaan and Kurt Busch and Elio Castro Neves and Tommy Kendall all racing each other. Bobby Labonte in there too. Just, you know, great to see some of those guys back behind the wheel.
Are they going to be able to do more with that series moving forward?
I think there's going to be a lot of people asking for it. It's just a matter of it really fit there in Washington, because they didn't really have space for a support series, and yet they needed something to be on track, because IndyCar has this thing called practice where they can actually work on the cars in between, right? Now, for those who used to NASCAR, they don't get as much of that anymore, but so they needed something on track in between, and this was the perfect thing. Just 8 cars, you know, a couple of haulers, a small area. You know, they'd have trouble fitting in a full NASCAR Cup garage area in the footprint that they had there in Washington. So I think IROC certainly proved to be the best thing for them in that venue. But I think it certainly will have people thinking and asking what more they can do. I don't know how much those drivers want to be on ovals too much, and I know they don't want to wreck their cars all that much. But I think there's certainly places where they could potentially do it.
Yeah, it was a heck of a show. I enjoyed
watching.
I
vote for All-Star Race Weekend at North Wilkesboro. I think they should put them on there.
That would be really cool. And also, when you said that joke about practice, I did feel every single NASCAR driver in the garage agree with you in that moment. Let's turn to NASCAR now, and obviously talking about practice and coming up to Daytona this weekend, a lot to do about what they're trying to change with the cars. For those that don't know, what has been kind of the criticism of drafting racing the last few years, and what is NASCAR trying to change about it?
Yeah, so the criticism of NASCAR racing on the kind of drafting tracks has been twofold. The first is that the drivers, when they try to make a move, nobody would go with them and they fall to the back. So there was more of an incentive to just, stay in line. And then the other is that when they have a stage that is more than a fuel run, they save as much gas as possible so that they can spend the shortest amount of time on pit road as possible in order to try to, have the best finish in the stage, because they know nobody's going to be able to pull out and pass. So the best thing to do is not try to push the pack, but instead, get the optimal miles on your fuel run, and then just have a kind of splash and go toward the end of the stage. So what NASCAR is doing is that they're reducing the rear spoiler from 7 to 4 inches, and the horsepower reducing from 515 to about 465, in hopes that the drivers will not be able to stay so bunched up in the pack, and that they may have more of an opportunity if they do pull out to make a move, that some other drivers will go with them and they can draft by the other lane.
And I can tell you too, Bob, I'm personally hopeful that this change will help too. And I think the drivers seem to be hopeful for it also. And it adds to the backdrop of how important this race is, because, not only do we obviously have the 500 in February, but this is still ending the regular season in NASCAR. And I know this year we've got not as much going on at the bubble, obviously keeping an eye on SVG, Austin Cindric, and Ryan Preece in particular. But, this race, this style, there's certain guys that have been really good at plate racing, and they would love to be able to have these huge outcomes at Daytona, but it's been such a wreck fest, such a crapshoot, and I don't know. I feel like it's taken a little bit of the enjoyment out of some of the plate racing for some at least.
Absolutely, and I think you always want your driver to be able to have at least some sort of ability to make a difference, and I think that's the goal of this new aero package. And there's a lot of debate on whether it will work or not. And I think they're trying it now and try it again at Talladega in hopes that it's ready for February, where you'll have both the Flash and a couple of qualifying races to get ready for the Daytona 500.
Talking to Bob Pockrass today of Fox Sports, covering all things motorsports for Fox Sports. So, Bob, with this chase about to start after Daytona, let's go through some of the points picture here. And I tell you what, it has still been a long year for Hendrick Motorsports. I know they did get the win in IROC, as we talked about last weekend with Jeff Gordon. But if I told you only one driver from their organization would win through the first 25 races, what would you have said before the season?
Yeah. Well, gosh, if you told me that Jeff Gordon would have as many wins in whatever he's racing as Hendrick Motorsports does in the Cup Series, I don't think I would have. I would have said you're crazy. Sure. I think they're obviously new Chevrolet body this year. Obviously, they're still trying to adjust to it. Maybe some things haven't gone their way, but when you're not the strongest, when you're not the leaders, then it's much more difficult to overcome mistakes, right? If you have a bad pit stop, if the strategy doesn't go your way, you don't come back and win when you're not running among the fastest cars week in and week out. And I think that's what you're seeing here out of Hendrick. There've been weekends where Kyle Larson appears that he potentially could challenge for the win, and then he either gets in a crash or has something else happen. or, the car fades a little bit. So, I'm, surprised he hasn't won, obviously, and I'm surprised William Byron hasn't won. I mean, if you told me William Byron was going to be 12th in the standings behind Carson Hocevar in the standings, I probably would have said no way, but that's where he is.
And as you mentioned, I mean, again, all these guys, even Chase Elliott, who has the wins for Hendrick this year, has slid the last several weeks down to 8th in the standings. So it's been tough for HMS. I mean, when we look at this championship contender picture, Bob, I mean, we've obviously always wondered, will this be the year for Denny Hamlin? Will this be the year for Denny Hamlin? And how thoroughly good he's been this season, and going back to the 10-race chase. I mean, I know Ryan Blaney has been wonderful, and he got the win last week at New Hampshire. But, man, Bob, another year of can this finally be the year for Denny Hamlin?
I mean, it certainly looks like it. And, somebody else was asking me today, well, what about Ty Gibbs? And, I mean, I think Ty Gibbs will be good. Gosh, he's 3rd in points right now. But with the same equipment as Denny Hamlin, is he really going to outrun Denny Hamlin in these final 10 races? Racetracks where Denny usually is pretty good or very good at. I think it's certainly going to be Denny's to lose. And the thing is that you've seen him lose them before, right? So, I do think, though, that, this format fits in his wheelhouse. And he's starting, obviously on top. He'll have a 25-point lead, most likely on Blaney, and a 35-point lead on Gibbs or Reddick, who's ever 3rd.
Do you believe the hot streak of Joey Logano? Is this going to translate again in the playoffs?
I mean, I'm not convinced that he's going to be a big factor, but the thing is when I'm not convinced about anything, when it comes to Joey Logano, he becomes a factor.
Sure.
So, count Joey Logano out at your own risk. So I'll count him in just so that I don't look stupid if he proves me wrong.
Yeah, I think he said don't let the boys get hot after the race a couple of weeks ago. He did not have as good of a showing in New Hampshire, but still is flying up the points. I mean, he was in bubble a month or so ago, and now he is free and clear of that. But also of note, Bob, I know we're talking about this postseason, but I saw the schedule came out today. What stood out to you about that?
Not a lot new because a lot had been announced. A little bit. I like the All-Star not being at Dover.
Sure, yeah.
And I like the Clash not being in a place where it could snow and be delayed for 3 days. I think having the All-Star at North Wilkesboro is good. I was thinking maybe Nashville might be a little bit better place. A little surprised they're going back to Naval Base Coronado, but it was an event that I think everybody looked at as a one-time thing and everybody enjoyed it so much. Hopefully maybe they make some tweaks and make it even a little bit better event. And I think the key to that is that they want to continue going to a military base every year, and they say they'll go to a different one in 2028. So I think if they kind of establish themselves as, hey, we're going to have a military base race every year, then it's good to have one. As far as Talladega, I'm a little bit surprised that it's on Halloween weekend. I know it kind of fits into where it's traditionally been in the schedule the last several years, but when you think back to, I'll say it was 2009 and 2010 when they tried Talladega at Halloween weekend, fewer people came, and they asked people like, why'd you stop coming? And everybody said, well, we got to be with our kids on Halloween, and Talladega isn't exactly
yeah.
the place.
Wait, you don't want a 12-year-old on the boulevard?
Yeah.
Is that what you're saying?
I mean, that really was a place where a lot of adults went. That was the weekend where you left your kids with your with your parents or with another family member, and that was your weekend away, right? And so, but obviously during Halloween weekend, you're going to be with your kids,
sure.
So I'll be interested to see whether, what they saw 15 years ago. And granted, that was that time, when the economy was changing big, right, in 2009 and 2010. But I'll be curious to see if they have that same impact, 15, 16 years later.
And I'll be interested too, Bob, because, I mean, one of the things we always talk about in NASCAR is obviously its most important races, other than the Daytona 500 and the Crown Jewels, are these races at the end of the season, the Crown of Champion, and it's going up against all this football. But, Alabama, notably not having a professional team, it's a great market for something even during NFL season. And so, but then to have it on Halloween, it's like, oh, now it's got to fight another battle for people's attention. So I did note that it was super late. But he is the great Bob Pockris of Fox Sports with us today. Bob, we certainly appreciate the time. Again, plug your work and where you're going to be here the next couple of weeks.
Yeah, you can find me on Twitter or X and Instagram at Bob Pockris, on Facebook at Bob Pockris Fan. And yeah, I think you'll see me at some IndyCar races, at least until a champion is decided.
Sounds great. Again, Bob, we certainly appreciate the time, and we look forward to following your coverage of IndyCar and on the NASCAR side of things when you get back into that as well.
All right, thank you, guys.
That is Bob Pockris, motorsports reporter for Fox Sports, covering all things IndyCar and NASCAR. And actually, he covers NASCAR even while he's covering IndyCar. He still does a lot of coverage of NASCAR, so I don't want to sell him short there. But appreciate that time with Bob. All right, let's go to our next timeout of the program today. Back with much more of Auburn's first and Auburn's favorite sports talk show after this.
Sports Call crew wants to hear from you. Give us a phone call at 334-887-3401.
Looking for a new fitness home? Look no further than Tiger Iron Gym in Auburn. Our fitness area spans over 20,000 square feet, providing ample space for all your workout needs. Featuring an AstroTurf training area, an extensive range of cardio equipment that will get your heart pumping, and we are one of the largest 24-hour free weight gyms in America. Worried about parking? Don't. We have you covered with tons of parking spaces so you can focus on your workout. And we are open 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year to fit your busy schedule. Plus, we're locally owned and operated, not some big corporate gym. And you can experience all of this for just $29.99 a month with no contract. Join us today and take charge of your fitness goals. Tiger Iron Gym, South College Street in Auburn.
At Southern Union State Community College, success isn't a solo journey. It's powered by something bigger. A herd of faculty, mentors, industry partners, and a community committed to helping you move forward. Whether you're earning a degree that prepares you for immediate entry into the workforce, transferring to a university, or learning a new skill, Southern Union helps you find your strength and run with it. Herd powered, performance driven. Southern Union State Community College. Apply today at suscc.edu.
TK's Convenience Stores are your one-stop shop from Auburn to the Lake and Tallahassee to Tuskegee, offering friendly service and a clean environment. There is sure to be a TK's located near you. Stop by on your way to and from work or school and pick up everything you need, from beer, soft drinks, and fresh hot coffee to food, snacks, and ice cream. Plus, automotive and household products, pet food, and an ATM in every store. Just look for the orange and blue Starburst sign and stop by your local TK store today. TK's Convenience Stores. They're your one-stop shop.
Looking for a new fitness home? Look no further than Tiger Iron Gym in Auburn. Our fitness area spans over 20,000 square feet, providing ample space for all your workout needs. Featuring an AstroTurf training area, an extensive range of cardio equipment that will get your heart pumping, and we are one of the largest 24-hour free weight gyms in America. Worried about parking? Don't. We have you covered with tons of parking spaces so you can focus on your workout. And we are open 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year to fit your busy schedule. Plus, we're locally owned and operated, not some big corporate gym. And you can experience all of this for just $29.99 a month with no contract. Join us today and take charge of your fitness goals. Tiger Iron Gym, South College Street in Auburn.
Whether it's a night in with good friends and close family or having some fun in the great outdoors, don't forget the ice cold Coca-Cola from one of your 17 local TK's convenience stores. Every sip of an ice cold refreshing Coke helps make whatever you are doing memorable. With a variety of options to choose from, TK's has a Coke for every occasion. So don't forget to stop by any one of your local 17 TK stores today and pick up an ice cold Coca-Cola.
The Reason Why is a local nonprofit devoted to increasing access to health care and community resources for aging citizens, local veterans, indigent students, and citizens with physical or mental disabilities. Directly servicing Lee and surrounding counties, they provide low-cost non-emergency medical transportation, food deliveries, and free rides to public events with pay-through ride grants, sponsorships, and a reliable volunteer-based system. To learn more about applying for assistance or a volunteer position, visit their website at www.thereasonwhytransportation.org. The Reason Why, reconnecting with our community one ride at a time.
This is Andy Burcham, voice of the Auburn Tigers, and you're listening to Sports Call on Tiger 95.9.
Welcome back. This is the Wednesday edition of Sports Call on Tiger 95.9, the Tiger.fm, and the Tiger Communications app. Ryan Lavoie and Tom Peavy with you here live this afternoon as we broadcast live at our Auburn Bank studios. Appreciate Bob Pockris for joining the program. Love talking to Bob. You know how much I love NASCAR, Tom.
Yes.
And how there's only been, I think, 2 races, one race. 2 races. I can only vividly remember 1 race where I did not watch all the laps.
Right.
And that was when we were going down to Tampa on Sunday and still caught half the race. At North
Still caught it, yeah.
So you know how I feel about it. And
Oh, yeah.
if we had had a little bit more time with Bob, I would have asked him a little bit more about that Chase group of races at the end of next season because they did shift a few things around. For the first time in a long time, Bristol, not a part of the NASCAR Chase / playoffs. Moved Bristol up into August for the second race. And as mentioned, Talladega moved back a week or two to the Halloween. And, you also got Richmond back in the playoffs. Richmond has turned out to be, I think, very enjoyable watch the last couple of years with the tire strategy. New Hampshire's in. We just ran New Hampshire this past week for the 2026 season. Now it's in the Chase. So mix in some playoff tracks. I'm very curious to see that because I feel like we had a very stable schedule for a handful of years in NASCAR, and they keep tinkering with some things. But, yeah, the Naval Base race is going to be a lot of fun. So looking forward to that when they go back to Naval Base Coronado. And, yeah, good stuff. Appreciate Bob. And if you missed that interview, go check it out on the Sports Call podcast presented by Coca-Cola. All right, let's go to the Sports Call phone line, 334-887-3401 locally or toll-free 1-888-9-TIGER-9. First up here this afternoon,
James from Montgomery.
James joins us. James, how are you doing today?
I'm good in War Eagle.
War Eagle.
I know that y'all were talking about some upcoming races that are going to be coming to the NASCAR circuit in 2027, and I'm very, very excited for those races to actually be shown next year.
Yeah, certainly that schedule, again, only a couple of mild surprises on there, as Bob pointed out. So looks pretty similar to this year, but, it's obviously about to start the Chase here after this Daytona race, and very excited for the NASCAR season there.
Yes, because I know for the 2027 season for NASCAR, did Bob actually mention anything about the Talladega race that's going to be in Talladega, Alabama on that 2027 schedule?
Yeah, they still have the 2 races. The first one is in April the 25th, which is basically when it always is. That second race, though, moved back another week or two. It's going to be Halloween. So it's going to be that Sunday, and so that was a little bit surprising. But yeah, it's going to be the second to last race of the season.
Now, because I know when the NASCAR season started, like for 2026, I know they used to do a race out in Las Vegas. Now, will they actually have something like that? Like, just squeeze some races like that, like closer, like in the schedule when the schedule is like being, set in?
They still go once per week, if that's what you're asking. They do go to Las Vegas twice early in the year. I believe it's like race number 4 or something like that, 5. And then they still have a race in the Chase in October. So Las Vegas is still part of the beginning and towards the end of the season.
Yeah, because I know they used to do something like that. I think it was like for either NASCAR or Formula One, where they actually did it in the heart of Las Vegas, like in the city part of Las Vegas as well. That's why I was trying to see if they were going to.
Gotcha.
Yeah, if they were going to do something like that as well, because I know they did something like that during the 2026 season, which was very interesting, and it was very very interesting to see how they actually did something like that for NASCAR as well.
Yeah, again, you're right. F1 did that. NASCAR did the naval base, Coronado, in California. But, yeah, they've not done the streets in Las Vegas. They're going to stay on that mile-and-a-half oval.
Yes, as well, because I know with NASCAR, I'm trying to see if they're going to do, like, any classic races, like in the near future, like for Daytona, for, like, 2028, will they do, like, a Daytona race on the beach itself, just to bring that feel back like it used to be years ago when they first did it out there in Daytona Beach, Florida.
Yeah, no, I don't expect them to go to the beaches of Daytona. I know that they do go to North Wilkesboro for the All-Star race. That was a track that they ran at NASCAR for a long time, the short track there. But, yeah, nothing on the beach, but they'll still have their big races with the Daytona 500 and then the race to end the regular season, which is usually at the end of August.
Yes, that's all. And then I was actually looking for the 2026 college football season schedule that's going to start sometime this coming up week, and I'm actually ready for week 0 of the college football season to actually start this coming up weekend.
We are also just 3 days away, and we have been missing football. Obviously, we've talked a ton about it, so we are ready for it to arrive.
Yes, as well, because I've been looking forward to some great games this coming up weekend, and I actually have all of the games on the ESPN app already locked in, and I might be watching some of the games on the ESPN network, and then I might be checking some of the other games that are not on the network. So I'm going to be checking in on other games as well while I'm watching maybe 1 or 2 games this weekend.
Yep, be a couple games on ESPN, as you said, a couple spread across the other networks. I think 7 or 8 games in total, so a little bit everywhere to check on.
Yes, as well, because I know this coming up weekend, I know I'll be looking forward to seeing North Carolina and seeing how the Tar Heels are actually going to do this year. I'm hoping that they'll make it to an ACC championship game this year as well, but I just have to see how things are going to go as well.
Yeah, I hope they have a good year. I do like North Carolina, but yeah, I don't love their chances. It was a disaster last year, and Bill Belichick in year number 2 needs a big turnaround that I'm not sure he's going to have. But yeah, we'll see that game against TCU in Ireland, so an interesting venue to start the season.
Yes, as well. And then for the college basketball season that's going to get underway in Birmingham, I've just looked at it, and there was going to be an exhibition between Auburn and Alabama sometime real soon. So I guess that's something that's going to be very interesting for me to actually see some of the new guys for Auburn this year as well.
Yeah, that one was a surprise. We'll talk a little bit more about it here in just a little bit. But yeah, that was not on the radar, but they will be playing the exhibition there in late October in Birmingham.
Yes, as well, because I know the college basketball season would be coming up in October, so I'm actually ready for it, and I'm just going to see what teams I'll be looking out for the 2027 March Madness record as well.
Yep. Again, we'll cross that bridge when we get there. But again, excited about the football to start for your first here in just a few days.
Yes, as well, because I know a lot of college football fans are very excited to actually see college football being back, and something is actually going to be being done for this year's college football season with the Yahoo Fantasy Sports. They're actually getting into something right alongside with the NFL draft, so they're going to actually do the college football draft. So everybody still has time to actually make a practice pick and everything to see how things are going to run when the time comes on September 3rd as well.
Yep, fantasy for college is there too. So yeah, everybody be drafting their teams here any day now.
All right, sounds good. And I'll talk to y'all guys tomorrow. War Eagle.
War Eagle. That is James from Montgomery joining us on the Sports Call phone line. James mentioned it there. One of the things we wanted to get to today, which I did not have on my radar whatsoever, and that is Auburn and Alabama basketball. Yes, you're used to it. Times two. Maybe a third time in the SEC tournament. Can I guarantee you a third time because of an exhibition affair? Again, October the 22nd, Birmingham's Legacy Arena. Auburn and Alabama will play an exhibition game, 7 o'clock Central Time on that Thursday. According to the reports, if they get a sellout or near sellout, both teams would stand to make six figures in NIL opportunity out of the deal. Again, I don't know exactly how I feel about this. Tom, how do you feel about it?
I mean, I'm okay with it. Sure. Make some money. It doesn't count for anything. Just be a little, obviously, there's the rivalry part of it, but, why not? If, play a game against each other, get a little rivalry thing going that doesn't really count for anything, make some money, let fans go watch the teams. Sure. Why not? I'd rather that than Auburn play exhibition against, Sisters of the Blind somewhere that nobody gives a care about. Actually go against a team that the fans might show up and have a care.
My rebuttal was that these games are incredibly big deals, and it's incredibly heated rivalry. Doing something that kind of sort of doesn't count, is that devaluing it at all?
Well, to me, no, because they still have to play the games that do count. And so if they didn't play each other for real, quote unquote, for real, then I would have a problem with it. It was like, no, I mean, if you can't schedule them and have them as an actual game that counts, then no, don't play an exhibition against them. So just an exhibition, it's like, that's fine, whatever. You still get to play them in where it really counts, and it's going to have a say-so and stuff. So, I think it's fine. I really don't see a huge problem with it. I don't think it's going to devalue anything.
Yeah, again, I just don't know how I feel. Tried to contemplate. I feel like the news came hot and heavy today. There's other things to get into, even beyond what we brought up in the first hour of the show that we'll get to the next hour. But it's just odd because it's kind of, in a way, I'll scratch your back and you scratch mine.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't view rivalries as intending to do that. And I'm not sure how it being, functionally like that for this occasion. Like, hey, we're going to get six-figure NIL and you're going to get six-figure NIL. I'm not sure I like that, to be quite frank. I think, look, I'm not saying that you need to do inappropriately mean and awful things to your rival, but they are your rival. And I'm not sure I want to benefit them even if they're benefiting me. And Auburn is, they've already got a Birmingham exhibition against Florida State. Alabama would be perfectly capable of scheduling a really good school to play in Birmingham if they want to. I'm just not sure what the need is here. I guess it is a come-together moment. But, obviously all that will be forgotten when you actually go to Coleman Coliseum and Neville Arena. But again, I don't know why you have to have the idea of, okay, you're going to get the profit off this. Well, I'd love to make them have to go find something to profit off of while you find your own thing to profit off of. Like, I don't know. It's weird to me. To be fair, it would be in the category of, I guess, good sportsmanship or, again, being good with your rival. But I just,
let's see.
I don't know. It's weird.
It reminds me of baseball where Auburn and Alabama would play each other in Montgomery at Riverwalk Stadium, and that did not count as an SEC game. Now, I think that one did count towards their regular season record, but it was not counted as a conference game. And so that one, not quite a quote-unquote exhibition, but as far as your conference schedule goes, it would have been. I mean, and so, Auburn and Alabama would play in that River City Classic or whatever they called it there at the Montgomery Biscuit Stadium. And that was fun. Drew a big crowd. Everybody had a great time. The two teams had a great time. And at the end of the day, it was like, okay, well, somebody got some bragging rights, but ultimately you're still going to have to play each other in conference where it actually means something. So, and I don't think it ever devalued the regular season meeting between those two teams. It was kind of one of those things that was never even really talked about. Once it was done, nobody ever kind of really went back and looked at when the two teams then played each other in conference play. Nobody really ever went back and go, hey, well, back a month or so ago when they played over in Montgomery, no, it never really got talked about.
But I also think the sports are different. And I think that one single game in baseball is way different than one single game in any other sport. Even in basketball, when you play, still 30 to 35,
right,
depending on your postseason run, and the prestige of basketball being higher. I'm not sold on it, and I don't think I'll get there because I think that this is your arch rival that you're now, I guess, coming together. It's different to come together over a tragedy or coming together over just being better or being bigger than sports, being human beings.
Right.
But when you're actively saying we're both going to profit out of this, I mean, can you imagine one of the schools saying, yeah, we got this NIL player that just beat you because we played you in the exhibition? Seriously. No, I'm dead serious.
Yeah.
If you make $500,000, $750,000 off this, and then you use that plus a little bit more to get a big portal player, the next year you get swept by them and that guy in the portal that they got because of those funds, and they're saying, oh, yeah, we had the extra funds because of that game.
Well, then
it could work either way.
Yeah, but then I would look at Auburn and well, then why did you not use the funds to get that same player?
Yeah, but I think it's a talking point I don't want to engage in.
Yeah.
I don't even want to open that can of worms. So I don't personally love it. And again, it will be a bit dumb at the time because the winner will definitely be talking smack to the other side, and the loser will definitely be saying it's just an exhibition. And I know how it's going to work. And the truth is it's not going to mean anything with the regular season record, yet because it's a rivalry, some people will make it mean something. And I just think it's a can of worms that just it doesn't feel very necessary. It just seems like they I don't know. It's a creative idea. There's new ideas all over the place. And there's just some getting used to, but it's going to be an odd one. I had another question in terms of this versus what it would be like to play a non-conference football game with them, but I'll save that for maybe the next hour. But we need to go to our end-of-hour timeout for now. You're listening to the Wednesday edition of Sports Call, live on Tiger 95.9.
1 hour of our show is in the books. We've got more to come. Stay tuned for another hour of Sports Call right after the break.
Hey everybody, this is Brandon Maxwell with Fairway Auto Brokers. Back to school deals are here and you deserve a new ride. With over 150 of the finest pre-owned vehicles in stock, we make car buying fun and easy for the whole family. As Lee County's #1 place to buy a pre-owned vehicle, come see why Fairway is the difference. Visit us at www.fab-auto.com or stop by today at 1777 East Glen Avenue in Auburn, Alabama.
For Football season is here, Auburn. Let Waldo's Chicken and Beer on South College Street take care of the cooking for your next tailgate. We offer catering with delivery so you can spend more time enjoying the game and less time in the kitchen. Watching from home, we've got you covered there too. Waldo's proudly supports our local high school teams, and we offer convenient to-go orders for your away games. Reserve your catering dates now at a.u.catering@waldos.com. Waldo's Chicken and Beer. Let us handle the food while you handle the fun.
Some beers are made to blend in. Blue Moon Belgian White was brewed to stand out. Crafted with Valencia orange peel for a bright citrus taste and a smooth, refreshing finish, it's the perfect way to elevate any occasion. Served best with an orange garnish, every sip brings out its signature flavor. Whether you're unwinding, after work, or gathering with friends, reach for something a little brighter. Blue Moon Belgian White. Made brighter, please enjoy responsibly.
Every day we power homes and businesses in our communities, but we also power something else, bright futures for our youth. We visit classrooms to speak on topics ranging from career opportunities to leadership skills, and we help make college possible by providing scholarships to deserving students. Bright futures are ahead, and we help make it happen. Brought to you by Tallapoosa River Electric Cooperative.
This summer, the Honey Pepper Pimento Chicken Sandwich and Pineapple Dragon Fruit and Sprite are back at Chick-fil-A.
Girl, it's back. We've been waiting. I love that honey pepper pimento sandwich.
And that pineapple dragon fruit and Sprite is everything. It's got that razzle-dazzle that makes you stop and say, okay, wait a minute.
I love the creaminess of the pimento cheese. It's savory, it's bold, it's flavorful.
Our faves are back. High five, girl.
Which fan favorite will you choose? Real customers paid for their testimonials.
Progressive knows that for business owners, vacations hit different. But hey, at least you finally took a vacation. And look at that. You only answered 53 calls, 84 emails, onboarded one new hire, and covered for Chris while he's out on paternity leave, and you did it all from a kayak. Because you, my friend, know how to relax. All right, you may not know how to take a day off, but you do know both your personal and business auto insurance needs can be covered in one place with Progressive. So at least that's relaxing, right? Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, not available in all states or situations.
Looking for great deals while supporting a great cause? Visit Lifesavers Mission Thrift Store, conveniently located on East University behind Zaxby's. We're open Tuesday through Saturday from 10 until 5 with a huge selection of furniture, clothing for the whole family, books, home decor, and so much more. Have items to donate? We'll gladly accept donations at the back of the store from 10 until 4. Shop, donate, and make a difference at Lifesavers Mission Thrift Store, where every purchase helps change lives. The Lee County Literacy Coalition provides adults with one-on-one tutoring for reading, writing, math, and GED prep. We also provide financial, digital, and health literacy workshops and host an ESL book club. All services are provided at no cost and are open to the public. For more information, visit our website at leecountyLiteracy.org or call 334-705-0001, 334-705-0001.
We all wear orange and blue, but every day, Auburn University Union is proud to serve the people who make this community strong. Whether you're opening your first account, buying your first car, planning for your future, or growing your business, we're here for every chapter, because at Auburn University Credit Union, you're more than a customer. You're a member. You're an owner. Your family. Auburn University Credit Union, rooted in Auburn, committed to you. To learn more, visit myaucu.org. Federally insured by NCUA. Equal Opportunity Lender. NMLS number 530633.
It's heating up at Sons Ford in Auburn with the hottest sale of the year. Now's the time to save big on a huge selection of new Ford trucks, SUVs, and cars. Whether you're looking for a rugged F-150, a family-friendly Explorer, or a fuel-efficient Escape, you'll find incredible deals waiting for you. Don't let these summer savings pass you by. Visit Sons Ford in Auburn today or shop online at sonsford.com and pick the Ford you've been wanting at a price you'll love. Sons Ford in Auburn, where the hottest deals of the year are happening now.
For over 20 years, Auburn Reprographics and Supply has been your trusted source for printing, scanning, and managing wide-format blueprints and building projects. But I'm here to tell you there's so much more. Multiple printing options allows Auburn Reprographics the versatility to provide full-color, inexpensive posters to signs, banners, fine art, and canvas prints to include vehicle graphics for your mobile media advertising. Come by our office at 660 North Dean Road in Auburn and trust our experience and local business relationships at Auburn Reprographics. We look forward to earning your business.
You are listening to Sports Call on Tiger 95.9 FM, WTGZ Tuskegee, Auburn.
Now, it's time for your Atlanta Braves morning update, presented by Tidal Wave Auto Spa. Get clean car happy at any of the 250-plus Tidal Wave Auto Spa locations today.
Braves take game one from the Dodgers. I'm Barrett Salee, and this is your Braves Radio Network morning update.
Tidal Wave Auto Spa is the official car wash of the Atlanta Braves and your go-to car wash destination all season long. Visit TidalWaveAutoSpa.com to find a location nearest you.
Ozzie Albies had an RBI single in the bottom of the eighth as the Braves top the Dodgers 4-3 in game one of the three-game set, guaranteeing at least a season split against the Dodgers. Ozzie Albies, 2 RBI on the day, including a sac fly, his 13th sac fly of the season. That ties a Braves single-season record. And how about Bryce Elder? Another strong performance. 6 innings. He did give up 8 hits, 3 earned runs, no walks, and 5 strikeouts. Dylan Dodd comes in, puts out a fire in the eighth. He gets the win to improve to 4-1. And Raisel Iglesias, the save, his 28th after Shohei Ohtani led off the ninth with a triple. Yeah, things got a little scary there in the final frame. Roki Sasaki coming up in game two for the Dodgers. He's 5-5 as a 4.42 ERA. AJ Smith-Shawver will get the start for the Braves, his 3rd start this season. Ford leadoff show coming your way at 6:05 Central, and first pitch between the Braves and the Dodgers, 7:15 Eastern, 6:15 Central on the Atlanta Braves Radio Network.
You are listening to Sports Call on Tiger 95.9 FM, WTGZ Tuskegee, Auburn. Since 1995, Alabama's sports talk leader, Tiger Communications, proudly presents Sports Call. It's time to join our Sports Call crew as they discuss the latest headlines and happenings around Auburn and the entire sports world. To be part of the show, give us a call at 334-887-3401 locally or toll free at 1-888-9-TIGER-9. We're taking phone calls all show long and want to talk about whatever you've got on your mind. And now, coming to you live from the loveliest village on the plains, Auburn's first and Auburn's favorite sports talk show, Sports Call.
Second hour of Sports Call starting right now. Tiger 95.9, the Tiger.fm, and the Tiger Communications app. Ryan Lavoie and Tom Peavy live from our Auburn Bank studios. Connor Knight run the board and running the production of our Facebook and YouTube stream today. Appreciate Connor for that. Appreciate you for tuning in, however you might be tuning in on this Wednesday. Let's begin hour number 2 with a phone call, 334-887-3401 locally, or toll-free 1-888-9-TIGER-9.
Keith from Auburn.
Keith joins us. Keith, how are you doing today?
Hey, guys. I am doing great. Ryan, Tom, hope y'all are well.
Yes, sir.
Oh, yeah, doing great.
Good deal. Hey, first of all, I just got to give a shout-out to the Little League World Series and the Phoenix City group or Southeast group that's just staying alive. And, you know, give them credit.
That little Kinley Rasmus, she is something else.
He is a hoss now. Of course, you know, her dad was a hoss, too. So
now, all those Rasmuses have been.
Yeah, and I think I may be wrong, guys. Y'all help me out. Isn't there a rocker on the team too? I think he played for Tony at Russell County. I think he was a pitcher, a lefty or whatever. But anyway, it's good to see them doing well. I know they come on at 6 tonight. I'll be glued in, going to watch that. I'd love to see that little Kinsley girl just take one over the fence. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, she came close a couple of nights ago.
Did she?
Yeah, yeah.
Is that what? I'm sorry, Tom. I don't mean to interrupt you.
No, go ahead.
What age group is that? Is that
11 and
12?
11 and 12s.
That's what I thought. Good gosh, man. We grow old fast, don't we?
Oh, yeah. Well, I grow old fast. I thought I vividly remember Phoenix City making that run in 1999 with Colby and Corey on the team, and now that's Corey's daughter, Kinley, that is the pitcher. So it's like, goodness gracious, yeah, I'm getting old.
Yeah. And she's recorded 14 strikeouts. Is that correct, or 14 outs?
She is.
Probably
I think.
14 outs.
I think she has tied Monet Davis for most strikeouts by a girl in the series, and she has now had more hits than any other girl in the series, beating Monet. So, yeah, she is. She has become the superstar of this year's Little League World Series.
Yeah, and I made a statement yesterday, and then I retracted it. I said, you know what? Some college softball team's going to be happy to get her, but my goodness, she may end up playing baseball. I don't know if a girl can play baseball on the college level, but yeah, I guess if they're good enough, they can. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, if they're good enough, they can. But I mean, I think she's going to eventually focus on softball, and I think I read something like her. She wants to play softball at Oklahoma. Like that's kind of one of the things she wants to do. So. Yeah, I mean, she'll transition to softball once she gets to high school.
My heart's broken. I was hoping she might want to go to but anyway, Oklahoma is a pretty good program to go to. Wouldn't you say?
That would be fair.
For softball, yeah.
Yeah. So I want to change directions just a minute and talk about the WLGMBA. I love that league. I tell you what, I watch it every chance I get. It's a lot of fun, and the reason I watch it is because there's always a clown show in most of the games, and that's what I enjoy most about watching the league. I have a hard time, guys, and then I want to get your opinion on this. These fans pay probably pretty good money to sit courtside, and I'll go back to maybe a week ago when the Sky was playing somebody and Carrington had some guy removed from the courtside, and they let him back in the game because there wasn't any real evidence that he said anything. I mean, at what point? Because, I don't understand this league. Obviously, they don't have good direction from senior leadership. And I think that's going to end this year, hopefully, and they'll get somebody in there that can run a league and run it like a league. But I don't understand that. I don't understand, all this stuff here recently about Enos Cantor Freeman or whatever his name is, and then Royce whatever. And I mean, obviously, I wouldn't call it a publicity stunt, but I think they were just trying to prove a point. Through all of this, but why, in my opinion, guys, and I'm sure I've seen the clips of Natasha Cloud or whatever, basically going after him and using every F-bomb under the sun, and he doesn't step on the court. He doesn't step on. He takes 2 steps forward from where he's sitting, and I guess that was justification that they made him leave the arena for whatever reason. But I don't get this. I don't understand why these women go out there every night and play with a chip on their shoulder. Embrace the moment, the opportunity where they're at now, and the money they make. It's significantly more, but yet they continue to hate on Caitlin Clark, and truth be known about it, most people wouldn't be watching the league if it wasn't for her, in my opinion. But I don't know, guys. I mean, how do y'all feel about that? I can deal with the Caitlin Clark stuff. That it is what it is. If they want to hate on her, they can hate on her. But why do they just play with a chip on their shoulder and just act a fool out there or a clown out there when they're playing?
So one thing that I've thought about now, and the other stuff, I mean, obviously there's a lot of politically motivated stuff going on with Enos Cantor and all that. There's politics in that involved, but I don't want to get into that. But the stuff that goes on the floor, and this is where I kind of disagree with you about the leadership of the WNBA. I almost wonder, and a lot of people, it's not just me wondering, if the leadership likes the quote unquote chip on the shoulder. They like Sophie Cunningham doing what she does. They like Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark and the rivalry there, and they like the things that are going on, because guess what? That's drawing viewership.
Yeah.
It's making people want to watch that because let's face it, the vast majority of people have not cared about the WNBA until the last couple of years because of the rivalries between some of these players and the players that are being, a clown, if you want to call it that, or just being, over the top and aggressive and all these different things. It's actually drawing viewership. It's making people want to watch these games because they are getting after it. And so, there is a portion of the folks that think that the people that run the NBA are kind of looking at this, and now out to the media, they're like, "Hey, we can't allow this. We can't have these kinds of." But on the back side of the things in the backroom deals, they're sitting there going, "Yes, we got to keep this going. We've hit the jackpot right here." There's actually people coming to these games. They're packing the arenas. They're talking about it at the water coolers and everything. So if you're the heads of the WNBA, you're like, heck yes, let's keep this going, because they've hit a gold mine with it. And so, if they just played just regular old basketball and shook hands at the end of it and there was no controversy and they just played, nobody would watch that. And so they're doing something right. And I think they're going to keep on trying to do that. They're going to build these rivalries because that's one of the big things that helped the NBA back in the days. You had Bird and Magic in that rivalry, and you've had people like Dennis Rodman. I mean, you talk about a clown show. Dennis Rodman being the way he was, and for the WNBA to really boost, they've got to have these over the top figures that really draw everybody in to watch it. And I think they have kind of found that over the last couple of years.
Yeah. I have a hard time with the race baiting, and when I say that, I'll say this, and we all know about the green toys being thrown on the court. And then,
that's silly.
You have a press conference and Natasha Cloud speaks on that, and then she basically race baited that whole thing by saying, "Okay, Larry, Mark, Chuck." Now, who's named Larry, Mark, and Chuck? Okay, we all know what race that is. So how do they know that that's what's actually taking place? I don't agree with that type of stuff. I think she should have been fined. I think she should have been fined for what she did going after Cantor. To my knowledge, he didn't do anything to invoke that. I mean, yeah, he wore a T-shirt, but you know what? It's a free world. You can wear whatever T-shirt you want to a ball game, as long as it's not vulgar. It's just a definition of what a woman is. So, I just think some of that stuff's out of control. Now, granted, that's fine with me because I enjoy watching it, because there's always going to be, a show. I call it a show. But, eventually I think people are going to get tired of it. And at some point, I think the attendance will drop and the viewership will drop on account of that. I mean, who wants to watch that? I mean, you know what? Let me rephrase that, because I watch it for that particular purpose. So, you may be right there, Tom, on what your point is. So I can't disagree with that by any means. But I really enjoy watching the WNBA. I think it's a little out there, and that's okay. It is what it is. But anyway, I just wanted to get that off my chest, and kind of spill the beans on that and what I thought about that. The coverage and, I call it the crazy show with Monica McNutt and that crew. They were replaced by the Little League World Series, which was great. Nobody wants to listen to what they got to say compared to what the Little League World Series brings to the table. But, we'll see how it all plays out. I just be one to tell you right now, it's like Travis, I can't remember his last name, with Outkick or whatever it's called.
No, Clay Travis.
Clay Travis, thank you. And his opinion on that. And I watch a lot of podcasts. That's probably my problem. I watch too many podcasts on YouTube.
Yep.
But I just think it's a little out there. But in my opinion, if Caitlin Clark picked her bags up and left, the viewership would go down, and eventually drop really significantly. But, who am I to say? Because I don't know a whole lot. It's all I can do to wake up every morning and remember my name. So, it is what it is. But just wanted to touch base on some college football. It's here, thank goodness.
Mm-hmm.
Looking forward to it. I got to tell y'all something, guys, and I know this coming from me, it might shock you, but I'm really impressed with Alex Golesh right now. I think the guy. I think Auburn's going to have a good year. I really do, and I think he has got that direction in a lot better shape than where it was, and he'll continue to improve that. And I know I've heard y'all talk about that a little bit as well, but I don't dislike Auburn. Okay, my son graduated from there, and I do want them to do well. I just don't want them to beat Alabama. That's the only thing. But I've said this many times before. But when Alabama's playing well and Auburn's playing well, it just makes the economy in the state of Alabama better, and it makes it a lot more enjoyable to watch college football. And I think we're in for a really good season with what with really where we're at right now. Y'all may not like Lane Kiffin. I'm a Lane Kiffin fan. I just think he fuels the fire, and I think he's a pretty good football coach. So we'll see how that goes, throughout this season. But but I say this about LSU football: don't sleep on Dabo Swinney, because everybody in the world's picking LSU to win that ball game. And it may be a closer ball game than a lot of people expect. So, but we'll see how that turns out. Hey guys, listen, enjoy your show. I got a chance to go over and watch Beauregard High School last Friday night. It was a rough night. I think Coach McCurdy, given time, will turn that program around. There's not a lot of talent there right now, guys. I'm just going to tell you, it was pretty bad.
Sure.
But Rome wasn't built in a day. So I think if people will be patient with him, he comes from his background and his pedigree is good, of where he's coached at before. So hopefully he'll get Beauregard headed in the right direction. It's just tough to when we moved out here for my sons to play ball, and they wasn't very good. But the program turned around, not because of my kids by any means, but they played a part in it. But it's just sad to see the program get to where it's gotten right now. But I got confidence in the coaches there, and I think they'll turn it around. May not be this year, but you got to give them a little time, and I think they'll be fine. But guys, thank you so much for taking my phone call. I've got 5 dogs waiting to be fed. Not all mine. Some of them's my daughters. Majority of them are my daughters. But I'm going to head out and take care of them and make sure they got water and food and all. But thank you so much for taking my phone call. And, I enjoy listening to you guys. Y'all make listening to sports. Y'all are professionals. You do an outstanding job. And, just keep on keeping on what you're doing, and your viewership's going to continue to grow. And but anyway, is JJ still around? Is he gone? I ain't heard from him in a while.
He was on the show Monday, so he's still hanging around here. To be honest with you, Keith, I kind of let him make his own schedule when he appears on the show and when not. So I can't really give you a week to week, but he's still hanging around here and still helping us out.
Well, I know now he's the North Carolina fan, correct?
Yes.
Yeah, but he's got a long season ahead of him. So,
Oh no! He's I thought you meant Carolina Panthers. He's the Duke fan. I'm the North Carolina fan. My parents went to North Carolina.
You've got a long season ahead.
Yes,
of
I
you,
do. I'm very aware. It's going to be rough.
Until they get rid of their football coach, it's not going to get any better. So
it will
hopefully
not.
This will be here that we'll deal with that. And,
yes.
We'll get a chance to talk about them here in the last hour of the show.
We're previewing the ACC today. Yep.
Yeah. Okay. I'll listen to that. I know y'all have some good insight, but guys, thank you so much for taking my phone call. As always, keep up the great work, and God willing, we'll talk to you soon.
Yes, sir, Keith. We appreciate you. That is Keith from Auburn joining us on the Sports Call phone line. And, one thing I'll say about Lane, because I know he mentioned Lane there at the end. I love Lane as a coach. I think he's very smart. I do think he's learned a lot in this second stage of his career. I think he was kind of a brash youngster that didn't know how to put it together the first group of coaching stints he had with Raiders, Tennessee, USC, etc. But, he goes to Alabama. I think he gets an ounce more discipline. He understands how to run the thing
Working
a little bit better.
Saban will do that.
Yeah, understand how to incorporate his attitude, what makes him Lane, and package it into something that can succeed. And did a good job at Florida Atlantic. Obviously did a really good job at Ole Miss. And I think he'll win football games at LSU. It's just that he pushes the envelope. And sometimes, as Keith said, you need that. But at other times it's like, man, will you just calm down for a moment? Will you stop being so much for just 1 minute? With the whole exodus from Ole Miss and how it went. And because, again, we also know, too, we've brought this up from time to time, like this so-called affinity for Ole Miss, changing him and that sort of thing, reasons why he did not want to take the Auburn job a few years ago, all of a sudden seemed like, just tinfoil hats where, he's just – saying, basically implying they needed him more than he needed them, and just all this sort of stuff, and kind of just treading on him a little bit when they didn't really do anything to deserve that. So again, I don't mind Lane. It all comes together to be like, okay, actually, I don't feel strongly one way or the other. Again, I don't love some of the stuff off the field. I love the stuff I see on the field, but he's one of those personalities that you just. They're bigger than the average coach, right? And it makes must-see TV for sure. And that Clemson game, to his point, I'm not writing off Clemson. We'll talk a little bit about the Tigers of that variety a little bit later, as Tom alluded to. But let's take our first time out here of the 4 o'clock hour. Much more to discuss on this Wednesday edition of Sports Call, live on Tiger 95.9.
Stay tuned. You're listening to the multi-time Abby Award-winning Sports Call.
Weather brought to you by Auburn University Credit Union. Tiger Rewards checking at Auburn University Credit Union gives you the tools to manage your credit, monitor for fraud, telehealth services, loan discounts, and more. Visit myaucu.org for more details. Federally insured by the NCUA, Equal Opportunity Lender.
High temperatures right around the 90-degree mark today. Some people can see upper 80s for a change, but others will stick around 90. We'll see mostly sunny skies, about a 20 to 25% chance of any one spot getting wet. Lows will be the low 70s overnight. Tomorrow, the pattern begins to change. High temperatures will be in the mid-80s across the area, but with that, we'll see a good bit of rainfall, as most of the area at some point in the afternoon and evening hours will see a shower or thunderstorm, and low temperatures will drop again into the low 70s. I'm Ryan Lavoie for your Tiger Communications weather update.
From the very beginning in 1907, Auburn Bank's mission has been to promote our community, see businesses flourish, and improve the livelihoods of local citizens. We have operated a simple and straightforward business model built on a foundation of sound business decisions and a caring response. Our local team stands ready to discuss your financial needs and goals. Auburn Bank, champions of you. Member FDIC. Online at auburnbank.com.
Frederick Dean Funeral Home and Crematory is here for you when you need us. With locations in Lee, Chambers, and Tallapoosa counties, serving people of East Alabama and West Georgia since 1900. A family-owned and operated business, skip the hassle of the big corporate mortuaries. Our kind, compassionate team members are standing by to assist your family in the hardest of times. An on-site crematory, private cemetery, and a choice of facilities makes Frederick Dean unique. Visit us at frederickdean.com.
Looking for great deals while supporting a great cause? Visit Lifesavers Mission Thrift Store, conveniently located on East University behind Zaxby's. We're open Tuesday through Saturday from 10 until 5 with a huge selection of furniture, clothing for the whole family, books, home decor, and so much more. Have items to donate? We'll gladly accept donations at the back of the store from 10 until 4. Shop, donate, and make a difference at Lifesavers Mission Thrift Store, where every purchase helps change lives.
This summer, the Honey Pepper Pimento Chicken Sandwich and Pineapple Dragon Fruit and Sprite are back at Chick-fil-A.
Girl, it's back. We've been waiting. I love that honey pepper pimento sandwich.
And that pineapple dragon fruit and Sprite is everything. It's got that razzle-dazzle that makes you stop and say, okay, wait a minute.
I love the creaminess of the pimento cheese. It's savory, it's bold, it's flavorful.
Our faves are back. High five, girl.
Which fan favorite will you choose? Real customers paid for their testimonials.
Progressive knows that for business owners, vacations hit different. But hey, at least you finally took a vacation. And look at that. You only answered 53 calls, 84 emails, onboarded 1 new hire, and covered for Chris while he's out on paternity leave, and you did it all from a kayak. Because you, my friend, know how to relax. All right, you may not know how to take a day off, but you do know both your personal and business auto insurance needs can be covered in one place with Progressive. So at least that's relaxing, right? Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates, not available in all states or situations.
You say you'd never give in to a meltdown and never fill your feed with kid photos. You say you'd never put a pacifier in your mouth to clean it and never let them run wild through the grocery store. So when you say you'd never let them get into a car without you there, no, it can happen. 1 in 4 hot car deaths happen when a kid gets into an unlocked car and can't get out. Never happens. Before you leave the car, always stop, look, lock. Brought to you by NHTSA, Children's of Alabama, and the ABA.
Looking for the perfect lunch or dinner? Make it easy and delicious with Honey Baked Ham. Enjoy savory crafted sandwiches like the Ham Classic, Barbecue Smoked Stacker, or the Tavern Club, as well as a variety of fresh, crisp, delicious salads. Every bite is a taste of quality at Honey Baked Ham Company. Whether it's a leisurely lunch or something quick for dinner, Honey Baked Ham has you covered. Stop by the Honey Baked Ham Company and get your ham on. Honey Baked Ham, located at 1451 Gateway Drive in Opelika.
Ham bone, ham bone, ham bone.
Want more Sports Call? Check us out online at sportscallauburn.com.
Welcome back to the Wednesday edition of Sports Call on Tiger 95.9, the Tiger.fm, and the Tiger Communications app. Ryan Lavoie and Tom Peavy with you here. We're also streaming live on Facebook and YouTube at Sports Call Auburn. Got Connor Knight on the board taking phone calls for us today. We'll get into the Atlantic Coast Conference, or if you prefer, the All Coast Conference.
Or the Miami Conference.
A little bit later. Well, yeah, I mean, hey, they didn't win it last year.
That is
they
true.
were the best team, but they didn't win it.
They still didn't win it. That is very true.
They have still never won an ACC championship.
Duke won it last year, didn't they?
Yes, they did.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, I thought maybe you weren't on the show. Maybe I said it Friday with Connor or something. But, you know, they've now changed the rule to where the Power Four are automatically going to get their conference champion in.
Right.
And it's like, well, Duke was the perfect reason why you shouldn't.
Yeah.
Duke went 8-5. They lost to UConn. They lost to Tulane in the playoff. Like, if that was a debate, if you had to pick one or the other, you should have picked Tulane, period. Yeah. They beat them. So, anyway, someone getting in from the ACC, whether it's Miami, which would be the most normal thing, or the most admirable thing, this year just call it NC State or something. You know,
North Carolina and Bill Belichick make the playoffs.
If that happens, if North Carolina made a playoff. I'll say in the 2020s.
Right.
I'll go ahead and lay it out for the next 4 years. I will do a show shirtless. Now that we're on camera, I'll do a show shirtless because that's not going to happen. That will just not, absolutely is not going to happen.
Belichick may not make it through this year.
Yeah. I mean, he is
legitimately may not make it through the
He's
year.
the short list of being fired first
Yeah.
in college football this year. He is on that short list. Now, again, I know there's a certain prestige level still to the name Bill Belichick, but it has worn out because it's not just a bad season.
Right.
It's not like Belichick locked in, tried his best. They had a rough year. Now they're trying to build it for year 2. Because that's like Rich Rodriguez. Rich Rodriguez didn't have a good first year at West Virginia, but he also didn't have all the off the field stuff. And I don't mean the girl. I don't even mean Jordan Hudson. I also mean like Michael Lombardi now being suspended. They're being under investigation for NIL stuff. Like it's a conglomerate of issues off the field. So they've been under the microscope the whole time, and no one's liking what they're seeing. So we'll get to the ACC here a little bit. Another thing I wanted to bring up today, newsworthy day. We already talked the Auburn-Alabama exhibition. We already talked a little bit about the latest round of rules from the SEC.
The voting.
Right. And the potential penalties for it. This is a smaller thing, I admit, but it felt weird to me, and it has to do with college football. Did you see that ESPN is getting rid of the bottom line?
Yeah.
Getting rid of the ticker.
Yeah.
And
they wanted to clean things up.
I don't think I hate it, but I think I at least dislike it. I mean, it was not on my radar to have happen. Why do we have to clean that up? Is it for social media, like the TikTok scrolls and stuff? I think it's for that.
Yeah. I mean, that's probably exactly what it is, but still, it feels like you're fixing something that didn't need to be fixed.
Yeah. Now, look, if we think this out, I can talk myself into it not being, like I said, hateable instead just dislikable. Because let's go back, okay? We're 25 years ago, 30 years ago. You got college football on your screen. You still got all the games on Saturday. Okay, we've now advanced to a timeline where you do have games at every time and window. It's not just a CBS or ABC or whatever. But still, the year's 2000. Let's call it 2000. And you don't have cell phones that are linked to the internet, and you don't have ways to quickly get a bunch of information to you.
Sure.
It was very logical to have a source of, okay, this is what the score is in the Michigan State game. Mm-hmm. This is the score in the Auburn game. This is the score in the Clemson game. And all these games that you're not watching at that time. Well, fast forward to 2026, when I have so many types of ways to figure out what the score of a game is. I can go in my ESPN app. I can go on a Bleacher Report app. I can go on a Fox Sports app. I can go on a betting app because they have to carry, if you're into the prediction markets or whatever, they're updating constantly what the live situation is. Right. I have so many different ways to get the update of any event going on in the sports world. I can find out what the Korean baseball game score is.
Right.
And I don't have to try very hard. So I think ESPN's argument is all of this is readily available information if you care enough to grab it. You can find this stuff out in 20 or 30 seconds. Far quicker than waiting for a whole scroll. You can find this out in 30 seconds if you just ESPN app, NCAA football, Big Ten score. Oh, Northwestern's beating Indiana. That's a shocker. Wouldn't have been 10 years ago. It would be now. So I surmise that's their reasoning, or that's their support for saying, oh, we want to clean this up, and you guys have this mechanism to get scores now.
Yeah, but the thing is, I mean, they're cleaning something up. It's called the score bug, right? Is that what that's called? The
score bug is the score of the game you're watching.
Right.
The ticker or bottom line.
Right. But the thing is, the score bug is still going to be there. It's just the ticker below it.
Yes.
So, okay, you're taking something off, but you're still not opening up much viewer window.
Right.
Okay. So you might actually see their ankles.
Yes.
Instead of the tickers, like, okay, big deal. My thought, my kind of first thought was one thing, but then you kind of explained it away there. But I'm almost thinking like ESPN's like, okay, we're running these scores across the ticker. Yeah, sure, you got it all readily available at your phone, but if if all of a sudden, we've got a game playing on here and you run a score across and that game is like really close and it's over on CBS, all of a sudden everybody's like, well, let's get this off of ESPN and get over to CBS really quick. And like, why are we putting the scores of competing games on there where they're going to then leave and leave the channel and go to the next? But the simple fact, but you could still do that on your phone. So
I think what it is, though, because I as you were talking, I thought of the nuance to the conversation, which is, okay, I still have to be aware of the game I'm looking for and to go find it. I might not, because it's one thing for me who's obsessed, who's covering it, whose job is to cover it, to know all the games. Like I said, I can already recite to you the entire week 0 slate. Now, I say entire, it's 8 games, but the average person is going to know maybe 1 or 2 games, maybe the North Carolina TCU game, maybe NC State, Virginia, and then they might know that Florida State or Southern Cal plays. They would have no idea who they are playing. And then you're certainly not going to know Jacksonville State's playing North Dakota State, Sacramento State playing Eastern Michigan. Certainly not going to know those things. The point is that week 1, week 3, whatever comes around, you might know who your team plays. You might know who your rival plays, and you might know the big top 25 matchup. You might know LSU Ole Miss or something going on in the league. But you may not think about that Indiana is playing Purdue or something. And you wouldn't care until Indiana's only up 3 with 5 minutes left.
Right.
Michigan might be playing Appalachian State, and you might not think to care until Appalachian State's leading in the fourth quarter. You know what I'm saying? So that is eroding because now I have to come out of my own brain. I need to physically go to the app.
Right.
What all is going on right now? Let me see. The game I'm watching is a 17-point game with 5 minutes left. Is anything else concluding right now that's worth a darn? Again, it takes some effort. In the past, it's just, here's the top 25 scroll. Let's see what's going on.
Yeah.
So I do think there's an element that gets lost now. And I think that you make a good point that, ESPN is only competing. They don't want to compete. They want you to be on ESPN, ESPN2, or ABC.
Right.
Maybe the SEC network. Maybe the ACC network. That's it. They don't want you to see, Ohio State's having a problem now.
We got a barn burner over here on Fox. Let's get over here.
I'll give you a great example from last year. Indiana, Penn State.
Oh yeah.
How great that game finished up. You went into the week. Penn State had a horrible year. Should have been easy.
And I left from what I was watching to go, and I watched the last play of that game because I left the game that I was watching. To go and watch that.
And it was a hell of a finish.
Yeah.
It was awesome.
The sporting event that makes me think about, though, the need for that ticker, or where I love having that ticker down there, is the NCAA basketball tournament.
Yes.
Because as much as I do look at my phone, when sports are on, I'm watching the TV. I'm watching that. I'm not like just looking at everything on my phone. So I rely on that ticker, especially like in the NCAA tournament. We have a game and we're watching, and we're kind of getting close to halftime, and I look at that on that ticker. I'm like, ooh, we've got one right here that's getting close, and let me leave this to go to this game.
Yep.
And so I rely on that ticker for that. I get it for ESPN should not. They need to be truthful. I was like, we're just cleaning things up. We're like, no, you're not. It's like I said. Okay, cool. So now we can see the players' ankles. I really don't care about seeing their ankles. It's still going to be obscured by the score bug, which you have to have. So you really haven't cleaned anything up. But
it's social media cleanup. It was just for the scroll. Yeah.
And there's other ways that you can do it, but I think a lot of it has to do with they don't want to. They don't want to put have a score pop up there that makes people leave their channel.
Sure.
I think that's ultimately what it is.
Let's grab another phone call here on the Sports Call phone line, 334-887-3401 locally, or toll-free 1-888-9-TIGER-9. Next up,
Die Hard Die.
Die Hard Die joins us. Die Hard Die, how are you today?
Hey, War Eagle, I have a fun question to ask you, but trying to track y'all on what y'all saying. Are y'all saying ESPN's getting rid of the ticker at the bottom?
Yes. Yep. Yes, they are.
The score,
for football games. Yep.
That's hilarious.
Yes, it is.
All right, so it's a fun question. I know you guys have to be somewhat honest or at least countable. So let's say if past couple of years when we're trying to get, I'm so blown away with this ticker thing. Who's LSU's coach now?
Lane Kiffin.
Thank you. A couple years ago when we could have got Lane Kiffin, I'm calling up Mike. We do not. That's not who we are. I don't want this guy, and other people like he's a winner and stuff like that. So now that, again, time has proven me to be right, even though I hate saying I told you so. It's common sense. And if I'm telling you I told you so, it means you don't have common sense. But say A, you choose A, which is what's happened. B, we got him for 2 or 3 years like Ole Miss did, and he did very good there, but also brought all the drama and the TV show and just kind of made it of a joke of a place, at least in my opinion. But left you and, then, makes you feel like, left you like he did, like he has every other school. And that was my whole point. Just look at his track record. I remember talking to you guys about it. And some of y'all were with me and some of y'all were defending him. But I said, there ain't no way he's going to come here and stay. Just, history has already been written. Or C, he comes here and instead of leaving us to LSU or Florida, something like that, he stays here and the drama continues, the bad texts continue, hey, we're going to get NFL players, just the cruddy person he is. He's a genius, but he's a cruddy person. He doesn't share the values that I thought all Auburn people once upon a time shared throughout my 3 degrees here and my brother's degree in the 80s and my completion in 2011. It's all generally been about the same value system, give or take. But anyways, just wanted to get y'all's thoughts, and I'll listen. If you guys could choose A, B, or C, and you had to pick one, which one did you go with? All right.
Appreciate it. That is Die Hard Die joining us on the Sports Call phone line. So again, to recap, choice A, it happened how it did. Doesn't come here, does this thing at Ole Miss, off to LSU. Option B, comes to Auburn after a few years at Ole Miss, stays only a few years at Auburn, approximately 3, has success. We're going to say Ole Miss-like, 10 wins, has a good playoff run, does not win a championship, maybe beats Bama a time or two, then moves on to LSU or the NFL. Or option 3, Lane Kiffin's your coach long-term. This is actually somehow his forever home, and he does not want to leave you. But, drama continues. Auburn, he's doing the stuff he's doing at LSU right now at Auburn, trying to get players from the other level, that sort of thing. Do you have a take? You want me to go first?
You go first.
Okay. So as I've said before, love Lane the coach. Think he's really good. Very interested to see the LSU part of it. I do not think he'll win a national championship. I think he'll sniff around it. I don't think he'll go further than Ole Miss just went last year. That's my take. Don't love the things he does off the field. The stuff here, especially this off season, has been awful. I don't love it at all. I don't love the contesting of pro players getting back to college. I don't think he's quite the only one, but he is one of the only ones that has proven himself to be interested in that. Texas Tech is another example of a school trying to do that.
Right.
I don't like what's happened the last several years on the field at Auburn, obviously. I don't like that they have been losing team after losing team. So I am still between option B or C, personally. Because, again, you're not asking was Auburn okay? Auburn's not been okay. And as I've said before, I wouldn't have fired Gus Malzahn yet. I was not there. Most people were. I was not. And every year since then, it sucked. That told me, and I've said this before too, that told me Auburn was very hell-bent on winning. They didn't care about the other stuff because Gus did the other stuff great. Great representing the university, loves the community. I think that's very proven after the fact and even during the fact. Was he a perfect coach? No. Again, it's not always on the one slider of the equation. Okay, it's not always all or nothing. But I did not think it was time yet to move on from Gus Malzahn. I've said that. So when that happened, it told me all systems go towards winning, and you're kind of just like everyone else. You want to do it the right way. Okay, you always want to do it the right way if you can. And I'm not insinuating let's do it the wrong way on purpose. But I also know that to get it done now you're having to spend a ton of money, and you can't apologize for that. So I don't know. I think in a way, even though it's a circus, I think if you can sign up for Lane Kiffin coaching your football team, you should sign up for Lane Kiffin coaching your football team. Because, again, you're going to win something. What I don't know, and my hesitation between B and C, to make the circus worth it long term, you do have to win trophies. Lane's still not done that, to be fair. He has not won an SEC championship. He has obviously not won a national championship. I love the playoff success of Pete Golding and Charlie Weiss Jr. last year, but Lane Kiffin himself not on sidelines, and impossible to quantify what would have happened if he was. He lost to Georgia in the regular season. They did not lose to Georgia in the postseason without him. So that, like, what are you telling me? You know, does he if he never wins a conference championship, if he never wins a national championship, if he's so-so against Alabama, then sign me up for a couple years. Let's get the program on the right track for the last 3 years. So sign me up for option B, and then him move on with the program in a better place, mad as hell that he left, and I'll show you why we're better. So I lean towards option B.
And what was option A? I had forgotten.
Option A was everything's the same. He doesn't come to Auburn.
No.
Do you like the way, do you agree with the way it played out in the first place?
See, and I guess I'm kind of like you. I'm kind of between the B and C. All right. And see, and it's a difficult thing for me. So I personally did not want Lane Kiffin to be the coach here at Auburn. Now, and the reason is because I don't think he fits here.
See, I did, but I did not realize he would probably want to leave it again after a couple more.
Right, and there's always that. I don't think that personality fits Auburn, the Auburn culture, the Auburn family, and I know there's so many people that are going to laugh at that. But, there are certain things that, to be a successful head coach, you do kind of have to fit. I don't think Lane Kiffin fits Auburn. I think he fits perfect at LSU. I think those are just two peas in a pod right there. They fit perfect. I think Lane Kiffin is a square peg in a round hole at Auburn. So I was not really in favor of it. Now, would I have gone through and started punching hole in drywall if they had hired him? No. I'm like, heck yeah, all right, let's roll.
Yeah, let's win some football games.
Let's win some football games. So, I'm between B and C. But, I'm more along the lines of, like, if you're going to hire him, then he needs to be here long term. I would want him here long term. I would want him here like every other coach unless you fire him, because there has not been an Auburn coach that has just picked up and left to go take another job somewhere. They've always, their time has run out and they've retired, or they just have not gotten it done and have gotten fired. And so if you brought him in, I would want him long term. I don't think that would have happened. I think he would have been here for a couple of years, and either just the things wouldn't have worked on the field, or he'd have had some success and moved on to the next time that the chance went to LSU, he would go to LSU.
Yeah.
Or even, God forbid, leave Auburn and go to Alabama.
Good Lord. Yeah.
Yeah, you really want to talk about a circus. I mean, it's one thing jumping from Ole Miss to LSU.
Yeah.
You do that, but that's the type of thing Lane Kiffin would do.
Yeah. Couldn't rule it out. Yeah.
And so I think you'd be playing with fire if you brought him here.
That's the subtle thing that Lane has acknowledged, in the difference and decisions he made. Auburn was not enough more than Ole Miss for him. Right. Clearly, there was a barometer that he could hit where he would feel, it would eclipse that, and that was LSU for him.
Mm-hmm.
And so, how many schools does the barometer clear from Auburn to insert next step here?
Right.
But you see, the reason I said B was because, again, if you get them on the right track, reprove what Auburn can be, I think your candidate pool is good. Now, again, you don't get to hold on to all your talent, but you might hold on to pieces of it that help the next transition, a la Trinidad Chambliss staying at Ole Miss,
right.
Kewan Lacey staying at Ole Miss, and then that ushers you into an era that could be more stable but with successes. I don't want to say A because you're just declining a bunch of wins. So it's between B and C for me.
Right.
But the C thing is what remains to be seen. Is Lane consistent at LSU? What becomes consistent? Because at Ole Miss, he had a couple really great teams. One of them was a playoff era 4-team that if he had been 12-team, he would have made it, but still 4-team era. Then he has the first team of the 12-team era. They go 9-3 and mess themselves up because they lose to Kentucky and they don't make the playoff. So it's like it's not even that you're signing up for consistent playoff success. You're quite frankly signing up for a record that was pretty similar to Gus.
Yeah.
And like I said, I wouldn't have. Gus was the quote more pure-hearted, whatever you want to say, version of Lane. In that respect, if you're going to win 8 to 9 games a year, and that's your average, and you're going to have a better year here and a worse year there. I think Lane's a little better than Gus, just a smidge. But I'm saying, they're close enough to where we've already gotten rid of the extra stuff not mattering. So with Lane, I'm now just having a more circus type environment. Again, it's not perfect. I don't know. It's a good question.
And it is a very good question. I think in the case of Lane Kiffin going, winning 8 or 9 games, if you just look at his track record and if you compare that to Gus Malzahn, I feel like I would be more supportive with the Gus Malzahn because I feel like with Lane Kiffin, you're doing less with more because he, at least right now, on the offensive side of things, recruits better than what Gus Malzahn was doing in his last few years at Auburn, which is really kind of where the questions with Malzahn became, or the lack of recruiting on the offensive line and elite receivers and things like that. Lane Kiffin feels like he's able to do that
with the portal,
with the portal and all this. So it's also a different
remains to be seen on
different
high school.
different eras of football and what you can do now.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah,
that's a different era.
Yeah.
And I mean, you're not wrong. I'm just saying.
But if Lane Kiffin is only winning 8 to 9 games a year with everything that he is bringing in, then he is doing less with more than what Gus Malzahn was able to do. So, I would definitely be. But to answer the question, like I said, I'd be between the B and the C. I did not want him here because I didn't think he fit, and I think it would be a disaster. But if you do hire him, it's like, okay, I'm okay with him winning some games. I would be fearful that he would leave, and the whole castle would crumble around him as he walked out the door, and then you're picking up. You're not just trying to rebuild. I mean, you were trying to pick up the ashes and figure out a way to do something. So that I would be fearful of that with him.
Yep. Good question, Dyer Dye. We appreciate it. That is it for hour number 2 of the program. Coming up in hour number 3, we are going to move into the ACC.
ACC.
Indeed. We'll preview that
means
conference.
Kind of more.
It just means something close to more. That will be next on the Wednesday edition of Sports Call Tiger 95.9.
2 hours of Sports Call are finished. Don't touch that radio dial. We've got 1 more hour to go.
Looking to put the cherry on top of the perfect meal? Honey Baked Ham in Opelika has you covered with desserts that are almost too good to share. From our rich cinnamon and blueberry coffee cakes to southern pecan, apple caramel walnut, and more, our pies are pure comfort in every bite. And if cakes are your thing, we've got coconut, triple chocolate, and of course, a classic red velvet that'll make you wish every day was dessert day. There's no better way to finish your meal than with a sweet treat from Honey Baked Ham. Come get yours today, located at 1451 Gateway Drive in Opelika.
Our Falcons play here.
Oh, man, I love it. It's been great. A lot of our guys be great. I look forward to seeing what we do this year. So.
It's a new team and a new season. Catch Falcons head coach Kevin Stefanski and Our Falcons Sunday the 13th as Our Falcons travel to Pittsburgh to take on the Steelers.
Atlanta Falcons football on WTGZ Tiger 95.9.
TK's convenience stores have a brand new look. That's right. Look for the red, white, and blue. It's Arco, American-owned top-tier gasoline, now at select TK's locations. Need great gas at a great price? TK's and Arco have you covered with the best price gas in town. American-made fuel for you and your family. So roll into your neighborhood TK's today, where TK's and Arco are as American as apple pie.
When it comes to important money matters, you matter most. At Mid-South Bank, we're a place for you to put your loyalty and trust. That's why we offer products and services to make your banking chores easy and convenient for both your business and your personal needs. Come in today at 519 East Glen Avenue or visit bankmidsouth.com to find out what the friendliest, most helpful bank in town can do for you. Equal housing lender, member FDIC.
When the game is on the line, heroes rise, and off the field, real heroes deserve their moment too. Game Day for Heroes is all about giving back, providing unforgettable game day experiences to the brave men and women who've served our great nation. It's more than just tickets. It's about saving lives, restoring families, building tomorrow, and honoring our heroes. You can help make a difference. For more information or to donate tickets, visit GameDayForHeroes.org. Game Day for Heroes, because those who serve deserve a game day they'll never forget.
You remember the burgers, you remember the buns, you even remember the ice, but you forgot the beer? Rookie mistake. Save the cookout by showing up with Blue Moon Belgian White. Its crisp, refreshing taste with Valencia orange peel and that iconic orange garnish turns an oops into an awesome. Because when the beer's this good, people tend to forget what you forgot in the first place. Blue Moon Belgian White, made brighter. Please enjoy responsibly.
Looking for a new fitness home? Look no further than Tiger Iron Gym in Auburn. Our fitness area spans over 20,000 square feet, providing ample space for all your workout needs. Featuring an AstroTurf training area, an extensive range of cardio equipment that will get your heart pumping, and we are one of the largest 24-hour free weight gyms in America. Worried about parking? Don't. We have you covered with tons of parking spaces so you can focus on your workout. And we are open 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year to fit your busy schedule. Plus, we're locally owned and operated, not some big corporate gym. And you can experience all this for just $29.99 a month with no contract. Join us today and take charge of your fitness goals. Tiger Iron Gym, South College Street in Auburn.
TK's Convenience Stores, your gotta-have headquarters. You know, those things you just gotta have, but don't have time to waste in one of those huge pack stores. Nope, at TK's, we have your gotta-have items with no hassle, along with great customer service, high-quality items, and clean stores. So whether you need a six-pack of your favorite beverage, milk, gasoline, or some cash from the ATM, TK's has it just minutes from you. TK's Convenience Stores, now with 17 locations to better serve you. Always there when you need us. The summer heat is here, and the best way to make sure you stay cool all season long is to give May Refrigeration a call. When your AC goes out or needs maintenance, May Refrigeration's technicians are trained and equipped to handle anything that comes their way. And don't forget, it's never a bad time to get your heating system checked, especially when you aren't using it. Give May Refrigeration a call today at 745-COLD. That's 745-COLD. So for quality customer service that you can count on every time, May Refrigeration, proudly serving the Auburn and Opelika area.
It's heating up at Sons Ford in Auburn with the hottest sale of the year. Now's the time to save big on a huge selection of new Ford trucks, SUVs, and cars. Whether you're looking for a rugged F-150, a family-friendly Explorer, or a fuel-efficient Escape, you'll find incredible deals waiting for you. Don't let these summer savings pass you by. Visit Sons Ford in Auburn today or shop online at sonsford.com and pick the Ford you've been wanting at a price you'll love. Sons Ford in Auburn, where the hottest deals of the year are happening now.
This fall, tune into savings at Jimmy's Car Stereo. With crisp autumn air and cozy drives ahead, make your rides even better with our top-of-the-line car stereos and accessories. From boom and bass to crystal clear sound, Jimmy's has the perfect upgrade to make your vehicle the ultimate fall soundtrack. Plus, make sure your football tailgate playlist is the best sounding on the plains with a new system from Jimmy's. Visit Jimmy's Car Stereo today at 908 Opelika Road in Auburn or online at jimmyscarstereo.com. Jimmy's Car Stereo, serving the community for over 30 years.
Looking for a new fitness home? Look no further than Tiger Iron Gym in Auburn. Our fitness area spans over 20,000 square feet, providing ample space for all your workout needs. Featuring an AstroTurf training area, an extensive range of cardio equipment that will get your heart pumping, and we are one of the largest 24-hour free weight gyms in America. Worried about parking? Don't. We have you covered with tons of parking spaces so you can focus on your workout. And we are open 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year to fit your busy schedule. Plus, we're locally owned and operated, not some big corporate gym. And you can experience all of this for just $29.99 a month with no contract. Join us today and take charge of your fitness goals. Tiger Iron Gym, South College Street in Auburn.
Memories are priceless. That mom's trip you've been talking about, flights, hotel, concert tickets, not so much. But that's where Max Credit Union comes in. Whether it's a weekend getaway with friends, front row concert tickets, or finally taking that trip without the kids in tow, Max has lending tools to help make it happen. Go make the memories. We got the rest. Max Credit Union. Certain restrictions apply for qualified borrowers.
The Atlanta Falcons are back in the hunt for a playoff berth, and you can come along for the ride. Tune in to your exclusive home in East Alabama for the Falcons. Tiger 95.9 all season long for all the hard-hitting action.
Still looking left, checks it back across the middle, intercepted on the backside. Jesse Bates, 20, 15, 10, 5, house call. Touchdown Atlanta. Jesse Bates has a pick six.
This new-look team has their eyes set on the playoffs, and you don't want to miss a single second of the action.
And here goes Bijan Robinson, 30, 35, 40, midfield. It's a foot race. Robinson 30, 15, 10, 5, house call. Are you serious? Oh, my goodness. He just went 93.
For a complete schedule of broadcasts, make sure to visit our website, thetiger.fm.
Snap spot. It is good. Fly home safely. Atlanta wins.
It's another action-packed season of Atlanta Falcons football on Tiger 95.9.
Brought to you locally by Sons Ford, May Refrigeration, Waldo's Chicken and Beer, Lifesavers Mission Thrift Store, and Tiger Iron Gym.
You're listening to Sports Call on Tiger 95.9 FM, WTGZ Tuskegee, Auburn.
This is the Tiger Communications Sports Report brought to you by Auburn University Credit Union. I'm Brooks Childress. Back in April, Auburn men's golfer Jackson Coyvin's flashy individual win at the Ford Collegiate was more than enough to secure the junior another nod as the Southeastern Conference's Golfer of the Week for the week of April 15th by the league office. It was the 5th time this spring and the 14th time in Coyvin's career that he'd earned a weekly honor from the SEC. At the Ford, Coyvin shot 13 under par with the field leading 17 birdies, including 6 through his final 9 holes to force a playoff and ultimately the win. Former Auburn women's basketball player DeWanna Bonner and the Phoenix Mercury have reached an agreement to buy out her contract, the team announced Monday. The move sends Bonner to the waiver wire, and she would become an unrestricted free agent if she is not picked up. In her 17th season in the WNBA, Bonner would then be cleared to sign with any team. Bonner indicated she is looking for a chance to participate in the playoffs with her career winding down. According to Bonner's agent, there were no issues with Phoenix that drove her to seek the buyout. Bonner has averaged 10.6 points, 6.1 rebounds, 1.5 assists, and 1.2 steals in 2026, and started 26 of 37 games. And FBS coaches voted unanimously recently to adjust the redshirt rule to allow players to participate in up to 9 games while preserving a full year's eligibility in the sport. The vote, taken during the annual convention of the American Football Coaches Association, followed extensive discussion over ongoing eligibility concerns. The current rule allows players to participate in up to 4 regular season games plus a playoff game and still maintain their redshirt, effectively allowing 4 full seasons plus another 1/3 of a season within a 5-year window. I'm Brooks Childress. This is Maritime Communications Sports Report brought to you by Auburn University Credit Union.
Auburn University Credit Union is partnered with Care Humane Society for the AUCU CARES debit card. It's free to you, and each time you swipe the card, AUCU makes a donation on your behalf. It's a win-win. For more information, visit myaucu.org. AUCU is federally insured by the NCUA and an equal opportunity lender.
You're listening to Sports Call on Tiger 95.9 FM, WTGZ Tuskegee, Auburn. Whether you're leaving work, cruising around town, or listening on demand, we've still got some fun left for you. To be part of the show, give us a call at 334-887-3401 locally or toll free at 1-888-9-TIGER-9. Auburn's first and Auburn's favorite sports talk show has been on the air since 1995 and is ready for 60 more minutes of fun. Now, let's get this hour of Sports Call started.
Third and final hour of Sports Call beginning right now. Tiger 95.9, the Tiger.fm, and the Tiger Communications app. Brian Lavoie, Tom Peavy with you live here in our Auburn Bank studios. Connor Knight run the board and running the stream for us, as you can watch us on Facebook and YouTube at Sports Call Auburn. And, of course, you can also listen to the show after the fact on the Sports Call podcast presented by Coca-Cola. Tom, don't worry. I went to the movie theater last night. I had a ice-cold vanilla Coke.
Hey.
Love the Coke Freestyle machines, even though I get vanilla Coke 90% of the time that I get out of it. The blend of the vanilla is great. Great out there. It was what I was looking for all day. Yeah, I watched End of Oak Street for what it's worth. It's fun. It's the first attempt at a dinosaur movie that I think's been notable, other than the Jurassic Parks and Worlds.
Since Jurassic Park.
Yeah, so it was quality. It was good. Okay. Enjoyed it. It's entertaining. I mean, yeah, it's not winning award, but if you just be entertained and be like, oh, man, or oh, expletive, that will happen a couple times. So it was enjoyable. All right, so what we hope will be enjoyable is the Atlantic Coast Conference in 2026. The ACC comes into this season another year where one bid league, most probabilistic. Does not mean it will happen. Last year, if the rules had been in place, you could have gotten Duke and Miami in. But ACC going to be hard to have two at-larges. Let's put it that way. They will need, I think, probably Miami to have a great season and then to lose the conference championship game. And that's what would be probably best for the ACC. Would you like to start towards the top or towards the bottom? I know we kind of did the top yesterday. Make sure you could talk about it.
Yeah, we can kind of start towards the bottom. I mean, I think the bottom is going to be the bottom.
Yes.
Your California schools that are now
especially Stanford. Yeah.
Yeah. Stanford, Cal, not going to be very good. Boston College is not going to be very good. Wake Forest is not going to be good. Once you get past that, well, I guess North Carolina is not going to be good, Ryan.
No, they're not.
Yeah, so
no,
that's kind of your bottom tier. Once you get, I'd say 1 through 11 are going to be, 1, 2, and 3 are going to be really good. After that, it's going to kind of be okay. And then you got that group that's just going to be kind of hot garbage at the bottom.
So, I'm with you on Wake Forest, probably bad.
Yeah.
I'm with you on Syracuse, Stanford, I think probably bad. Although I said, Wake Forest last year, actually, I'm trying to think. Wake Forest, I think, had a better year than I thought last season. I'm trying to recall off the top of my head, but because they moved on from Dave Clawson, and it really was actually not too bad of a season. They won 9 games with Jake Dicker coming over from Washington State again. So my hesitation with them is that Gio Lopez is their starter. Gio Lopez was the starter for North Carolina last year. Notably did not go well. But then again, nothing went well in Chapel Hill. So are we saying that's Gio Lopez's fault, or was it that they put Gio Lopez in an offense not designed for him whatsoever, which I know is the latter. I know for a fact Gio Lopez is not supposed to be running a pro-style offense. So to be fair, this will fit him much better. But Wake Forest was fine last year. I like Cal more than just to be a bottom feeder team.
Right.
1-7 last year. Again, if you're not familiar with Jaron Kiowa Sagapulitele, you should be. last season, 3,454 yards, 18 TDs, and 9 picks as a freshman. You don't have a lot of 3,400-yard freshmen very often. And he, following in the footsteps of Fernando Mendoza, was believed, especially when Wilcox was fired, to be on the way out. He decided to come back. Tosh Lupoy, new coach at Cal, was at Oregon. I like Tosh Lupoy. I think Tosh Lupoy might work out. I actually think, I know they're not ACC school, I think UCLA, Bob Chesney, good hire. I think the state of California made some good hires this cycle. So Cal, to me, not a foregone conclusion. By the way, Cal does play UCLA to start the year. So that's a good Pac-12 throwback.
Cal also plays the interesting game with Cal. They play at UNLV. And I know
yes.
for most folks, if you're like, okay, so it's like, no, UNLV is one of those that we talked about potential group of 5 playoff.
And if you recall, I said that's the perfect type of game for UNLV to play.
Right.
Because I think Cal could be a bowl-eligible team. And it's winnable, but it's not something you can't do.
Right.
You know, and even if you lose, but Cal wins 7 or 8 games, you lose by 3, you say, oh, man, well, it's a close game. You know, that. So there's a lot of ways that can work out well for UNLV. But, you know, overall, yes, I don't think, you know, Fran Brown had a great first year. Last year was trash. Boston College is in a rough place. Stanford's in a rough place. And then, yes, you mentioned North Carolina. I think North Carolina could be a game worse than last year.
And that 4-8 last year, and
3. I sniff 3-9.
Because they open with TCU,
I think that's a loss. They'll beat East Tennessee State. They'll lose to Clemson, Notre Dame, and to Pitt.
Pitt's supposed to be pretty good this year.
Duke is supposed to take a step back, but it's at Durham. I feel like Duke will beat them.
Defending ACC champions.
I do think Carolina will beat Syracuse. So that's win number 2.
Okay.
I think they'll lose to Miami.
Right.
I can't decide on UConn, which is just pathetic. North Carolina, UConn basketball, totally okay not to have a decision on that one. Football, not as much. UConn, remember, beat Duke last year. UConn won like 9 games last year.
Right.
I'm not current on what UConn should do this season, but they've had far worse teams. So let's just say it's their 3rd win, Tom. Let's say Carolina wins. They'll then lose to Louisville, who preseason periphery top 25. They'll lose at Virginia, and they've been really bad lately against NC State. They've lost, I think, 5 in a row, maybe 6 in a row to NC State. They'll lose again. I think they're 3-9. I think they're really bad. I think Bill Belichick will leave Chapel Hill, if they even let him coach the whole season, at 7-17 at North Carolina, which is just pathetic. So they made their bed, and they're going to have to lay in it. They're going to start Billy Edwards, who came from Maryland, didn't play a ton, or he quarterbacked a little bit there. Wisconsin before that, that's where he played a little bit too. I just don't know, man. I mean, I hope they're coached better than last year. They did a lot less portaling this season they did last year. That shouldn't be a whole shock because, you know, year 2 of a program gets a little bit more in-house stuff, but I have a troublesome time thinking. Now, the one thing, if you want to have any optimism in Chapel Hill, and I can't believe this is a sentence I'm about to say, Bobby Petrino is the OC. And even though Bobby Petrino is a sleazeball, he's a good offensive coach. Arkansas scored a lot of points last year. They just could not stop anything. And he couldn't win as interim. He might get another chance as interim. Bobby Petrino goes where he can be the interim.
Yeah.
Is what I'm learning. Because I think there's a realistic chance, like 4 games in, Bill Belichick takes one on the nose to Notre Dame, like 52-7. And they're like, all right, Bobby, let's give you 8 games. See what you got.
Right.
So that's Carolina's season. All right. Done with the bottom dwellers, unless you have anything to add there.
No, because I think everybody else is going to be moderately okay. I think Duke, like you said, takes a step back. I think Georgia Tech takes a little bit of a step back from 9-4 because they lose their OC.
Yeah.
Brent
Haynes King.
They lose Haynes King. They lose their OC. Now Brent Key has done a really phenomenal job there, but man, to lose your best quarterback and your OC, it's like,
it's not the combo you covet.
No,
it's certainly not that.
So I think Georgia Tech takes a little bit of a step back from 9-4. I mean, they may eke out a bowl.
I'm very interested to see what they do at quarterback or how the quarterback is, though. Do you remember who it is? You're gonna cheat, but Alberto Mendoza.
Oh, I did cheat.
Yeah.
Alberto Mendoza. Okay,
so
that would be the brother of
Fernando.
He
was the backup last year, so
Yeah.
he got some Signetti coaching. Saul's brother.
I did not realize he went to Georgia Tech.
Yeah. So because it would have been Philo, now
Right.
Florida.
Yeah.
He was their backup last year, and so going to see Alberto. See, I won't go on a limb, won't win the Heisman, but look, you're right. Brent Key, really good coach. This is a real test for him.
Yeah.
He made 2 bowl games before the 9-win team last year, so they have been in a gentle trend up for a few seasons now. Their schedule, they've got Colorado to open. I would highly advise not losing that game. And it is in Atlanta. They got Tennessee after that. So good on Georgia Tech, by the way. 9-game conference schedule. They've got the 8 this year. I'm not going to get into this. Some ACC teams play 8 and some play 9. Don't ask me why. But they play 8. So they've got Colorado. Listen to this non-con. They got Colorado, Tennessee, and Georgia on top of Mercer. Like that, good for Georgia Tech. Don't think it'll go great. But, I think Colorado's the one you win. Tennessee, you can't decide. And Georgia, they lose.
Yeah.
But if they could go 2-1 in those 3, I think that would prove they'll end up being a quality football team because they'll beat Mercer. They'll have 3 non-con wins. They got Stanford. They got Duke. They got Boston College, who you want to have. They got Wake Forest, who's on the better end. They don't play Miami. Georgia Tech does not have a bad schedule. So at least that's going for them. I agree with you. Concern whenever you lose the OC and you lose Haynes King, who was just a baller, just grinded. But not hopeless.
Yeah.
Not hopeless.
And before we get to the top, let's also, if you're talking ACC and future of things there,
yes,
you got to talk about Florida State.
Yes, you do.
Because if in the listings of coaches' hot seat,
yes,
Mike Norvell's is the hottest.
He's in hell.
It is absolutely lava hot. His butt has melted off. It's so hot.
Yes.
At what point does he lose his job this year? Or does he?
What if I was like after they lose to New Mexico State? After the second coming of Diego Pavia?
That's the thing. They opened with New Mexico State, okay, but then they got SMU, who's going to be one of the. Well, they're going to be competing up there with Miami for the top of that.
Yeah.
Then they have to play at Alabama. Okay, yes, they beat Alabama last year. I think that was a fluke.
I think it was Gus. Yeah, I think it was Gus calling some ball plays.
Yeah,
that was it.
But he's not there with them now. So,
exactly.
And you got to go at Alabama. Okay, and then you get Central Arkansas, but then you got Virginia, who's going to be really good.
At Louisville.
Louisville's going to be good.
Yep.
Miami is
great.
obviously the best.
And Clemson.
Okay.
October scaries.
Yeah.
For Florida State.
That is bad. But then, you get probably the worst team in the conference, Boston College. But then you get Pitt that's going to be good, NC State that's going to be good, and Florida to end the season, who it should be better than Florida State.
Yeah.
Woof.
Yeah.
Like they legit might win 3 games this season.
If we did, you want to do a sidebar ceiling and floor for Florida State? Because
the floor is 3. Like literally the floor is 3.
Yeah.
I could see that happening. That's so bad for Florida State.
Yes.
3.
We should never be talking about Florida State like, they might only win 3 games this year.
No kidding.
But Bobby Bowden rolling in his grave over
Yeah.
that. Like that.
With Burt Reynolds.
Well, you see, so you got them New Mexico State, Central Arkansas, and just throwing Boston College.
Sure.
Something. Yeah, 3 win. Yeah. You see, Florida State's ceiling and floor on a normal year should be like, worst case like 7-5, and best case 11-1.
Right.
You know, like it should be something like that. It should not be, they might be able to get to a bowl game.
It's like their ceiling is 5-7 again.
I told so
maybe they sneak a 6th, but holy crap!
So just to go over this again, Mike Norvell. Okay, he's completed 6 seasons. He's 38-34 at Florida State, which is really bad to begin with. Not Jordan Travis at quarterback, because Jordan Travis quarterback 23-4 in those 2 seasons. Okay, so not Jordan Travis is 15-30.
Oh.
I'm pretty confident Mike Norvell can't do this job.
Yeah,
I'm pretty confident.
But yet they've brought him back. Hey, we improved. We improved from 2-10 to 5-7.
Did you hear what Spurrier said?
Oh gosh,
he had, he still has his coach's show, whatever, once a week, and he's like, well, I guess those folks up north of Tallahassee, I guess they just don't have much money to get rid of their guy.
Well,
we had enough money to get rid of ours. And so, I mean, very brash, like, hey, yeah, we needed to get rid of ours. Here's our money. But that's the whispers, like Florida State not in great of a financial spot as they should be. They just did the renovations on the stadium. Remember looking at it, it was like, what's going on with their stadium?
Yeah, what's going on over there on the other side?
And they were working on that. And so there's rumblings they have not done a great work in that department, which is also why they're not recruited as well. They're going to be interesting, though, because here's the thing. Aside from jokes with Mike Norvell, their quarterback, Ashton Daniels.
Yeah.
I'm very curious. I liked what I saw from not Hugh Freeze, Ashton Daniels. Thought it was very interesting.
Yeah. They do have a good receiver, Deuce Robinson.
Yep. And their running back's good, Usman Kroma.
Yeah.
Kroma's a beast. Kroma's in the portal next year if this doesn't go well. He's a true sophomore.
That dude, that was a recruiting coup for me. I remember that guy was if I'm not mistaken, that dude was like a 5-star superstar stud that everybody wanted.
Big time dude, yeah. I don't remember what his ranking was, but he was
I remember Auburn wanted him really, really bad.
Yeah, and because obviously Gus wants to run at will, and he still wanted that last year. So I mean, they use 4 different backs a lot, but yeah, they used him more and more. He was a true freshman last year. He's just going to get the start this season. So the funny thing is, structurally, offensively, their center is. I was just looking at this. I did not know this. I'll tell myself, did not know this. Braden Joyner.
Oh, wow.
Braden Joyner.
Former Auburn Tiger.
Yeah.
Okay.
So they have stuff on offense, but it's Mike Norvell. Whatever you think the potential is, it will not be realized. Even if you think, maybe 10-win team. Okay, fine, 7. That's the problem with Norvell. So I think he's fired. I will say during the season.
I was going to say, I don't think he makes it through the season. The question is, their bye week is so early.
Yeah,
but I mean, if they start 0-2.
Oh, yeah, if they lose New Mexico State,
he's gone.
Yeah.
Bye-bye.
But they should not do that. I think it's going to be at Miami. Because actually, they got a second bye because they're week 0. They got a second bye October 24th. It's there.
Yeah, okay,
they're going to lose to Miami by 30-something points. That's be their 4th loss, and that'll be it. I'll tell you right now.
Yeah.
Where can I go and bet on that? I'm just kidding. Because they'll have lost to Bama for sure. They'll have lost to SMU, I think.
Right.
They'll lost to Louisville, and they'll lost to Miami. They might beat Virginia. They might. I don't know.
Virginia's supposed to be pretty good, though.
I know, but they're at home, So
maybe they get lucky on one.
Either way, okay, and even if it's they beat Virginia or they lose Virginia and beat Louisville, fine. Either way, they lose to SMU, lose to Bama, lose either to Virginia or Louisville, and then get smacked by Miami. They got 4 losses at bye number 2, and they're 3-4. They'll get that's fine.
He'll be gone.
He'll be done.
Yeah,
he'll be done. You can't because also Miami smoking you, not what you ever want to see in rivalry games. And last year that was a big time matchup. Florida State came into that still ranked, and Miami had just done some big time things, and that was it was a close comeback. Florida State looked bad for 3 quarters. I think they were down 3 touchdowns. They made it close late, but
28-22.
Yeah, they got an onside kick, and they were doing some wonky stuff at the end. But yeah, Florida State, man's rough. Actually, I want to talk one more school, and then we'll go to break, and we'll get to the top 3 or 4. Virginia Tech, because James Franklin in there, year number 1. expectations for him, both short and long term?
Short term, he's going to get them to a bowl game. I don't know that they're going to get there this year.
Okay.
I mean, he's still trying to build it.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a team that went 3-9 last year.
That's fair. It was a bad team.
Yeah, very bad team. And I mean, that's a lot of ask to get a guy to come in there and like, hey, let's win 8 right off the bat. Like, I don't know if you're gonna be able to do that. And so, I think short term he's just got to build this thing up and get them sustainable to where they can kind of be a consistent bowl, a consistent bowl eligible team, and then start, working your way up from there. Is he willing to stay there long enough to ride that out, or is he going to end up trying to jump to something bigger? Like obviously he was at Penn State, so he's had the big boy job.
Yeah.
Is he going to stay there and see it through all the way until they start, trying to compete for ACC titles? Can he get that program there? Is Virginia Tech capable of that just as a program? I don't know, because Miami doesn't seem like they're going anywhere, anytime soon. Clemson is always right there on the cusp of being special. SMU, with what Rhett Lashley has been able to do with them, that's a big mountain for Virginia Tech to try to climb. And I think Franklin can start getting them climbing that mountain, but I just don't know how long he's going to keep climbing with them before he goes to a bigger spot. But I think your expectations right now are, you obviously your expectations are not that hard to reach right now because you went 3-9 last year. It's like, hey, let's get to 7. Let's get to 6 wins or 7 wins. It'd be a monumental improvement from last year, and kind of keep growing from there. So I mean, I think the expectations right now are just to get that program, a very proud program, is just to get your feet back up under you and kind of get moving in the right direction.
Their best season in the last 5 is 7-6. They have had a couple of 6 and 7s with bowl losses. Auburn familiar with that. Had a 3-8 season where the last game against Virginia was canceled, and then had the 3-9 last year where they probably wish it was canceled. So, I mean, look, the schedule though to them, they get a great runway because they get VMI, Old Dominion.
They lost to Old Dominion last year.
They get an okay runway with VMI and Old Dominion. Good call. They play Maryland, who's very winnable.
Yeah.
Mike Loxley, also a coach. Get to him tomorrow. Very much on the hot seat. Boston College, who we think is terrible. That's a very viable chance to start 4-0. I'm not promising it, but I'm saying that's a very viable chance.
Yeah.
Pittsburgh at home, at Cal, not unfathomable. Host Georgia Tech, not unfathomable.
We just said they could be dropping.
Then it gets tough at Clemson, at SMU. They host Stanford like that. At Miami, it won't happen. So I see a bowl game.
Yeah.
I think 6 wins is attainable. And, I don't remember the circumstance from Bill O'Brien. I don't remember the exact 2013 Penn State team. But when Franklin got there, they didn't skip a beat. Like, they went 7-6 the first 2 years. And then they 11-3, 11-2, and so on and so forth. We got used to Franklin being good, but just couldn't get over the hump. So, I like their chances at least get on the board this season. I think long term, you were talking about how long will he stay and that sort of thing. Like, I'm curious to see what kind of interest level he gets in like 2 or 3 years. Let's say he's had a 6 or 7 win team, then it gets to 8 or 9, and then he's got your 10 win competitive team. Does someone in a big time job, because this is a good job, not a great job, but a good job.
Sure.
Does a great job say, we just need the consistency of James Franklin? We don't care if he's not win the title. We need to be in the conversation again. Because that's what you're going to ask with Franklin. I don't think anyone's going to hire him again thinking, oh, we might win the national championship.
Right.
They're going to say, we just need some stability. We need him to get us in a better place. So what program has the right kind of appetite for that, and how long does it take?
Yeah.
Because with Franklin, I mean, he's at Penn State a long time, more than a decade. I could see this being a long stop. I could see this being the last stop. And not because he fails, but because he does about 10 years. Says, all right, that's good. Or 8 to 10 years. So I'm good.
And dips
He's
out.
mid-50s now. So you don't, we're in an age where you never know. You can still coach to 70, but you'd also stop in your late 50s or 60, if you want to. So I don't know. I don't have a strong opinion on if this will be a long stop, his last stop, go somewhere else. It just depends.
I had not really thought about that aspect of it about, do you go bigger than that? Because, he is. Now, it will not be fair to look at him at Virginia Tech and go, well, you can't get over the hump. Well, you're not going to get over the hump at Virginia Tech. You were supposed to get over the hump at Penn State. Yes. You're not. You cannot get over the hump at Virginia Tech. That's just not going to happen. But, sustainable. And I agree, because if you think bigger than that, then sustainable is not good enough. Like, you have to be able to win a title.
Yeah.
So, maybe this is his last stop, but he just gets Virginia Tech back to what we're all used to Virginia Tech being, where they're very good and they do make a big time bowl game every now and then. They sniff the playoffs. They're kind of there. Sure.
Yeah.
And for Virginia Tech, I think that'd be great.
All right, let's take our first time out here of the hour. When we come back, we're going to get to the top of the ACC. Oh, by the way, the Virginia Tech, I know most people know this, but defensive coordinator this year, Brent Pry, who was the head coach at Virginia Tech, that was fired. So can you imagine Hugh Freeze being Auburn's OC? How disinterested would you be this year? That's an interesting question for Hokie fans about Brent Pry. But we'll come back and talk the top of the ACC next. This is the Wednesday edition of Sports Call on Tiger 95.9.
Sports Call is on the air weekdays from 3 until 6 p.m.
I read a book about this sort of thing once. Are you sure it was a book? Are you sure it wasn't nothing? Oh, yeah.
We're Auburn's first and Auburn's favorite sports talk show.
Weather brought to you by Auburn University Credit Union. Looking for the best credit card rate in town? The rate on Auburn University Credit Union's MasterCard starts at 7.9% APR. That's right, 7.9% APR. For more information or to apply, visit one of their 3 locations or myaucu.org. Annual percentage rate. Auburn University Credit Union is an equal opportunity lender.
High temperatures right around the 90-degree mark today. Some people can see upper 80s for a change, but others will stick around 90. We'll see mostly sunny skies, about a 20 to 25% chance of any one spot getting wet. Lows will be the low 70s overnight. Tomorrow, the pattern begins to change. High temperatures will be in the mid-80s across the area, but with that, we'll see a good bit of rainfall, as most of the area at some point in the afternoon and evening hours will see a shower or thunderstorm, and low temperatures will drop again into the low 70s. I'm Ryan Lavoie for your Tiger Communications weather update.
Frederick Dean Funeral Home and Crematory is here for you when you need us. With locations in Lee, Chambers, and Tallapoosa counties, serving the people of East Alabama and West Georgia since 1900. A family-owned and operated business, skip the hassle of the big corporate mortuaries. Our kind, compassionate team members are standing by to assist your family in the hardest of times. An on-site crematory, private cemetery, and a choice of facilities makes Frederick Dean unique. Visit us at frederickdean.com.
At Mid-South Bank, our banking philosophy is family comes first. You see, we're more than a safe place to put your money or get a loan. We're a place for you to put your trust. No matter what your financial needs, you'll come first every step of the way. Come in today at 519 East Glen Avenue or visit bankmidsouth.com to find out what the friendliest, most helpful bank in town can do for you. Equal housing lender, member FDIC.
Looking for great deals while supporting a great cause? Visit Lifesavers Mission Thrift Store, conveniently located on East University behind Zaxby's. We're open Tuesday through Saturday from 10 until 5 with a huge selection of furniture, clothing for the whole family, books, home decor, and so much more. Have items to donate? We'll gladly accept donations at the back of the store from 10 until 4. Shop, donate, and make a difference at Lifesavers Mission Thrift Store, where every purchase helps change lives.
The summer heat is here, and the best way to make sure you stay cool all season long is to give May Refrigeration a call. When your AC goes out or needs maintenance, May Refrigeration's technicians are trained and equipped to handle anything that comes their way. And don't forget, it's never a bad time to get your heating system checked, especially when you aren't using it. Give May Refrigeration a call today at 745-COLD. That's 745-COLD. So for quality customer service that you can count on every time, May Refrigeration, proudly serving the Auburn and Opelika area.
I'm Britt Bowen, voice of Auburn women's basketball and Auburn softball. You're listening to Sports Call on Tiger 95.9.
Welcome back. This is the Wednesday edition of Sports Call on Tiger 95.9, the Tiger.fm, and the Tiger Communications app. Brian Lavoie, Tom Peavy with you here today. Connor Knight running the board, taking your phone calls, and running the stream for us here today. We are live on Facebook and YouTube at Sports Call Auburn if you ever want to watch the program. And, of course, all the traditional ways to listen on Tiger 95.9, the Tiger.fm, Tiger Communications app, and after the fact on the Sports Call podcast. All right, talking ACC, the good old All-Coast Conference, now that they've got both the actual Atlantic Coast and the Pacific Coast covered with California and Stanford. But we now move in towards the top handful of teams in the league. We've talked a bunch of other teams on the other side of the break, good stuff. We get in towards the top where we believe Miami reigns. But let's start with Clemson. Sure. Because, I mean, they are in a place where they need a return, man. Like, they don't have to go win the title, but they were 7-6 last year. That's back to old Clemson, not Dabo Swinney's Clemson.
Yeah. They got it figured out. And the thing is, they're getting, they're kind of getting aggravated with Dabo because he's not playing the game.
Yes.
He's not playing the NIL game, and it's like you have to be able to play that game to succeed, and he's just not wanting to do that, and I think it's starting to affect them. We'll know a little bit about them September the 5th.
Yes, we will.
They open up at LSU, so you'll kind of know if they're back. They've got some players. I mean, there's nothing. I don't think there's anything just overwhelmingly special about their roster, but it's good. It's a decent roster, but they've got to try to figure out something with the guys that they have because the 7 wins ain't cutting it up there. The schedule for them, though, I think is extremely manageable. So that's the one good thing they've got going for them because they're not going to be a bad team at all. That I think they have the potential to be better than 7-6. And if you look at the schedule, I mean, it sets up pretty darn good for them.
Clemson's staff is an interesting staff to me. So Tom Allen, former Indiana coach, is their defense coordinator, second year. Had a quality defense last year, 20 points a game. That's been in Clemson's range for most of the years. Not their best years. They were like 15 points a game in their best years, but a reasonable defense, 20 points a game. Their offensive staff is like, hey, do you remember the beginning of the Dabo Swinney tenure? The quarterback, Taj Boyd? Yeah, he's the quarterback coach now.
Yeah.
Hey, C.J. Spiller, great running
back.
back. He's the run game coordinator, running backs coach. Yeah. They also have Matt Luke, offensive line coach.
Okay.
Really good one. And you remember the offensive coordinator that got it all going with Taj Boyd and C.J. Spiller? Chad Morris? He's back. He's the offensive coordinator.
Yeah.
It's and of course, Chad Morris, the head coach, was a disaster. Obviously, the Arkansas part was double down, triply awful, worst thing you've seen. But Chad Morris, the OC, was the guy to start it off, get it going, and then Tony Elliott came in after that, the Virginia head coach. I think this is a line to be better. You just have to wonder about quarterback situation because quarterbacks at Clemson, we talk defensive lines. They have been really good. I think they'll be good again. They've got some pretty good stuff defensively. Leading tackler back, leading man in sacks back, which is, again, why I said defensive line be pretty good. But they have had some quarterbacks be a little bit below par for what they thought. Like, they thought that Cade Klubnik was going to be awesome. He was a 5-star guy. I tried, / we as a media tried to put him in Heisman talks once upon a time. Never got close. And so he underwhelmed. They go with Christopher Vezina this year. I've said before, I have very personal rooting interest. I hope he throws for 7 million yards and touchdowns prior to Briarwood Christian. But one of your more normal, like 4-star, like solid guys, like I think he's like the number 9 or 11 quarterback, something like that. Good. But this is like
not blue chip.
Right. This is so 2000s of them.
Yeah.
Oh, we got a 4-star guy, and he's going to have to wait his turn, and then his junior season, he'll be the quarterback. It's such a 2000s move, maybe even early 2010s. But you just don't know, and if he is not effective, I don't think their running back, Gideon Davidson, is over the moon great. I think he's fine. They've got some weapons, but it's how Chad Morris gets them all back together. That offense last year was down to 27 points a game. That's not a Clemson offense we're very familiar with. They were, I get it. Trevor Lawrence and Deshaun Watson were special.
Sure.
Those were 40-point-a-game offenses, right? And Trevor Lawrence, I'm looking at it right now, 2019 when they won the title. That was a 44-point-a-game offense. The year after, 43.5 points. And then they dipped immediately to 28 points. And they've been in that 28 to 34-point range, 27, 34-point range ever since. So at least need to get back to that 33, 35-point-a-game offense. And I just have my doubts. I'm nervous for Christopher Vezina. I hope he does well. But you mentioned schedule. The LSU part's tough. But then Georgia Southern, North Carolina, Cal, Miami tough. Bye. Charleston Southern win. Virginia Tech at home, like it. At Florida State, who knows where they'll be.
May not even have their coach
by that time. Maybe in name only. Syracuse, doable. Georgia Tech at home, doable. Duke on the road, doable. South Carolina at home, doable. So, I mean, look, you play some teams. Miami doesn't get, no matter where you play them and stuff. We'll see about FSU. We'll see about Georgia Tech. We'll see about Cal. But it is a bunch of middling teams.
Ceiling is 10-2. If we do ceiling and floor, the ceiling
like
for them,
that.
Ceiling for them is legit 10-2.
I agree with that.
And so, but yeah, they're going to really they've got some dudes on defense. That's one thing that they do have. They've got some stud defensive guys. Maybe they ride their defense and try to figure it out at quarterback, and maybe not have to have their QB under a whole lot. Have him not have to do a whole lot.
Yeah, manage the situation.
Manage situations. Let your skill guys do it, and then really ride your defense. And so I think Clemson's going to be okay. I just think there's teams that are going to be much better than them towards the top.
So let's talk about them. So Miami,
best quarterback, best running back, maybe one of the best wide receivers.
Malachi Tony's a stud.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Fletcher at running back's a stud, and then of course, Darian Mintz is the highest paid quarterback in college football. It's 6.5 mil, I think.
I told you then. Yeah, I told you then. I'll tell you now. Duke still got screwed.
Yeah.
I don't hate that for them, but I hate it for the sport as a whole. But he's at Miami. We move on, and he should be the reason Miami wins this league finally. Finally wins the ACC. Best team in the league last year, just lost out in some tiebreakers.
The one thing that I am kind of curious to see, Miami. Now, listen, Miami has got some guys back on defense, but they also lost some. They lost some of their.
Great point.
They lost
Reuben Bain.
Reuben Bain.
People are talking about him in the league like he might win Rookie of the Year.
Right.
Akeem Mesidor, really, really good. Keontae Scott. Once Miami figured out what Auburn did not, Auburn's like, hey, he should play on the edge. No, he should not. He should play in the slot. play nickelback. Miami did that.
Yep.
And he was great again. Those are 3 NFL players.
Yep.
2 of them in Tampa Bay. Wink, wink, hint, hint. But 3 NFL players right there that at least one's going to be good I think they all could at least impact. Well, Mesdor stresses me out because he's like 25 or 26 as a rookie, which does stress me out a little bit. But
to lose mainly Bain and Mesidor, and
it's a ton of pressure.
Keontae Scott, I get it, but Bain and Mesidor were just like the two absolute key cogs of that defense. They do got some guys back. They've got guys on defense, but
22 sacks between those two last year.
So
that's a lot.
That is a lot. So I don't know that Miami's defense is going to be as good. In fact, it shouldn't be.
It should not be.
It should not be.
It was a
good.
14.5 point a game defense. It's not going to be that this year. Schedule-wise for them, they start with Stanford. It's a great way to start. Florida A&M, Wake Forest, Central Michigan. That's just a poo-poo platter, frankly.
Yeah.
That should be 4-0. The at Clemson will test them.
Yeah.
They bye, then Florida State. They might take Norvell out. Pittsburgh, at North Carolina should be easy, but at Notre Dame, thankfully Notre Dame plays somebody of substance, somebody. That's a huge one. Winner of that game's in the playoff period. No questions asked. There's no doubt. Winner of that game's in the playoff. Then Miami finishes with Duke, Virginia Tech, Boston College.
They don't play either of the teams that they lost to in the regular season last year.
Which is nice.
Louisville, SMU.
Yeah, good
They
call.
don't play either of those teams this year.
Yep. So I think they're – okay, so yesterday, Tom, I think you were still here. I said Texas Tech was like Georgia, where are they the best team in the league? Maybe.
I think I had left from that point.
Okay, I said Texas Tech is like Georgia because are they the best team in the league? You can make the argument. They may very well be. Do they have the best schedule of the teams at the top of the league? By far, yes. So put them in the conference championship game. Miami's the same way. They're probably the best team, and maybe more emphatically than the other two. Are they the best team? Yeah, probably. Do they have the schedule? Yes, they do.
Yep.
They don't have to worry about, as you said, their two pitfalls from last year. And Louisville and SMU are part of this equation. Like, someone's going to have to play Miami.
Yeah.
And I think Louisville and SMU are reasonable guesses on who it's going to be. Kevin Jennings is still at Southern Methodist University. I have watched Kevin Jennings throw so many passes the last couple of years. He is still at SMU. He threw for 3,600 yards last year. He threw too many interceptions. That was his problem. I think he threw like 12 picks. But, he's the quarterback when they went to the playoff the year before. He was their hope for last year. He was a little bit off. That's why they're going to at least be good baseline because their offense should at least be really solid with Rhett Lashley. So they are one of the key challengers to Miami. It's just, as you said, they don't play each other in the regular season. So to me, it's Miami, and then do you like SMU? Do you like Louisville? Do you like Clemson? Is there someone I'm forgetting? Pittsburgh, maybe? You're a little higher on them than I think I am.
No, I'm not. I'm not saying I'm that high on them. But I mean, when you're just on about, I'm not that high on them. But I mean, good Lord, I wasn't high on Duke last year, and they won the daggum conference.
Right. At least I said Mensa was good though, and they did. And to be fair to you, they lost 5 games. It's not like they were some rocket science team. They won some tiebreakers. They won the key games that got them in on tiebreakers, and they lost.
Pitt's quarterback Mason Henschel, I think, is kind of a.
He's fine.
He's rated up there. I mean, he makes some of the all conference mentioned teams. So I mean, I think. I'm not saying Pitt is going to compete with Miami, but I'm just saying Pitt could be one of those that trips somebody up that causes like the dominoes to start falling on something else. I think Pitt could be one of those teams that's like the aggravating mosquito that just won't go away, and you keep getting everybody sick because you keep biting people.
Good analogy. Pitt does not play SMU. They do play at Louisville. SMU also plays Louisville. Louisville gets them at home.
Yep.
So consider that if we start going tie-breaking route at the end of the year, that Louisville's going to get SMU and Pitt at home. As far as their relationship to Clemson, we talked about Clemson a moment ago. One thing we have not talked about is Virginia. Virginia, who won 11 games last year, they were in that tiebreaker. They lost to Duke. They were in the ACC championship game with Duke. But Clemson, again, we mentioned, they do not play Louisville. They do not play SMU, and they do not play Pittsburgh this year. So that's pretty good. That's on the better side of things. They have to play Miami. Virginia, coming back.
Yeah,
Bo Pribula from Missouri will be the quarterback.
Wow.
He was kind of mid, though.
Yeah.
Good runner. And to be fair to Tony Elliott, that's actually what he's looking for. They want to run a lot with the quarterback. Pribula was not impressive as a passer. I maintain that. I don't think he'll deliver 3,000-plus yards the way Chandler Morris did. So I will say take a small step back as a passer, be an even better runner. Virginia was fascinating because Tony Elliott stunk the first couple of years. We were talking about hot seat with him. Then 4 years there, he had gone 6-6, 3-7, 3-9, 5-7. And then, 3 years there, 3-7, 3-9, 5-7. First 3 years at Virginia, he was 11-18. I think that's right. Correct math. 6, 5, 11, 16. Nope. 11-23. That's not good. But 2025, he goes 11-3. So he equals the wins he had in his first 3 years.
And their schedule sets up really great for them too.
Yep.
So
an at SMU in there.
SMU, opening though,
NC
they
State
open the season with NC State, so they may start 0-1. I think there's a legit chance they start.
They also are one of the teams that plays 9 conference games because I hate the way the ACC is with 17 teams. But don't worry about that part. Yeah.
I don't know what West Virginia. I don't know what West Virginia is going to be like this year.
I don't know.
Get them in
we talked about them briefly yesterday. Rich Rod year 2.
Yeah.
Hopefully better. Hopefully fun with all that.
Interesting non-conference game. Delaware.
Yeah.
A team that is talked about as one of those group of 5. Like, hey, watch out for Delaware. The Blue Hens might actually be pretty good.
Yeah.
That would be interesting. At Florida State, who knows?
Yep.
Syracuse should be winning. Okay, then you got the at SMU, Duke, Wake Forest, Cal, North Carolina, Virginia Tech.
Yeah. Feasible.
Very feasible.
Well, what we always look at, we do this, and then it's like, oh, yeah, this is going great until Cal put 52 on them.
Yeah.
we wait to see Cal at 5-5 at the time. It's like, here's 50. Have fun with this. Now you're in a tiebreaker.
Yeah.
Because, Virginia last season, they lost that Duke title game, but it was Wake Forest last year. They lost 16-9 to Wake Forest that very same week, actually, November the 14th week. And that's what put them in the tiebreak. They controlled their own destiny, and they lost the game late. So that's what I'm telling you. It's going to be a tiebreaker. It's not going to be clean.
Right.
It's going to be like SMU and Louisville and Virginia, maybe Pitt, maybe Clemson.
Yeah.
That tiebreak, whoever wins that round robin in the final with Miami. Ultimately, I'm picking Miami to win the league, though.
Oh yeah, you would be.
I'm not going to be
rambunctious. Yeah, you would be crazy to not pick Miami to win the league. The only thing that I could say with Miami is they will win the league, but I think where the defense and maybe some fall off on defense will rear their head is in the playoffs.
Sure,
and I think that's where it hurts them when they play against
or when they play Notre Dame.
Or Notre Dame, yeah.
Could be a loss there.
But I do think Miami wins the conference. I think there's just way too many other question marks, even from like Clemson down, that are just like,
sure,
not really sure. Or SMU. SMU could be the one team I think that could get them.
I like Kevin Jennings, man, and he's experienced.
I like Rhett Lashley.
Fair enough. That will do it for us here today on this Wednesday edition of the program. Again, tomorrow we will preview the Big Ten, and on Friday, the Southeastern Conference. Tom Peavy, thank you for being here today and throughout the week. Enjoy the rest of your week, and we will see you next week.
Yes, sir. I have enjoyed it, and we will see y'all next week.
That does it for us here today. But coming up next, the High School Coaches Show right here on Tiger 95.9 live from Waldo's Chicken and Beer with Brooks Childress and Walter Northcutt. For Tom Peavy and Connor Knight, my name is Ryan Lavoie. Appreciate you listening on this Wednesday. Have a great rest of your Wednesday, and we'll talk to you again tomorrow.
On Saturdays, we all wear orange and blue, but every day, Auburn University Credit Union is proud to serve the people who make this community strong. Whether you're opening your first account, buying your first car, planning for your future, or growing your business, we're here for every chapter, because at Auburn University Credit Union, you're more than a customer. You're a member. You're an owner. Your family. Auburn University Credit Union, rooted in Auburn, committed to you. To learn more, visit myaucu.org.